Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, the place that we are everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we are back with another episode of Bounce Checks. Yes, we're back with some more Big Brother 24 coverage. It has been a crazy time since the last time we made an episode. I can say literally like minutes after we finished the last stream, the whole trajectory of the show has changed. So we have a good one. I'm very excited to talk about this with my panel. Coming back from Big Brother Canada coverage, total drama coverage, and everything all around. We got King Lance Richard. Lance? How you doing? Let's get you on the big screen. How you doing, Lance?
I've been good. Thank you so much for having me back. I know I've been a little MIA, but I'm back again. It's so hard juggling like real life and trying to squeeze in all this, but I'm happy to be back, especially with you all. Y'all hold a
It's
special.
Okay. I literally had a dip mid podcast to get my AC semi fixed last episode, so you're perfectly fine. But glad to have Lance back. Next, we also have Miss Canada, Miss Just So Damn Messy herself, Josie. Josie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I was wearing black because I felt like I was going to my funeral last week. I'm wearing white now because I think thou guys have seen the light. The light is the common sense that I have been branding this entire time that we've been podcasting. So I'm wearing white for that. So I'm excited to talk about everything that happened the last week.
All right, and also we have Miss Real Housewife watcher. She likes cool water. She's into the challenge. She's into a lot of different things. We got the feedster, Real Slim Katie here. Katie, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy the gang is all here from Big Brother Canada coverage. It's like we're all back together. I'm excited to be here. Like you said, Isaiah, the week completely changed the night that we finished streaming. So I'm excited to go over it all with you guys today.
Absolutely. So, I mean,
Hold up. I got to stop the press. I didn't get the memo about wearing white, and it's not given.
I didn't even notice that.
It's all a coincidence.
You know what?
I was white with reason. Come on, get into it. Get into it.
Love it.
We all have white on now, baby. That's how you do a Ruby.
When we did the draft, we all wore black. I know you guys weren't able to join, but we had Josh and we had Sabrina here. We all wore black. But now we have a reason. We have hope. We have a light at the end of this tunnel.
Welcome to the light. But yeah, let's get into it. Wow, so I mean, I guess we can cap off last week before we get to here. So I mean, last time we were here, it was just looking like same old. Taylor's going to get backdoored, boring week, and then boom, we had this whole resurgence of the leftovers formation come into the picture and basically come up with this crazy plan to basically backdoor Ameerah. Wow, it was such an interesting week because we don't have a lot of situations in Big Brother where we see the bottom feeders, especially in New School Big Brother, come together and go against the top people. Usually we watch them pander to the top people or the popular kids, whatever you want to call them, and then it's just a steamroll at that. So Cody Calafiore, shout out. But anyway, this is a very different season. And wow, I mean, Katie, how do you feel as a feed watcher? I mean, what's been going on here?
I feel like we witnessed feeds this week that people are going to be talking about for years to come. That's there are things that happen in Big Brother that people always reference. I feel like this week is going to be this past week is going to be one of those weeks that people just talk about in the future. Joseph's birthday is now on the list of iconic Big Brother birthdays. We have Rockstar's daughter. We have Keisha's birthday. Now we have Joseph 25. I mean, this man, he became a man overnight. He was a 24-year-old boy. Now he's a 25-year-old man, and he really got his shit together. Kyle got his shit together. It was just great to watch. In the middle of the night, I think it was Friday into Saturday when the leftovers formed. I woke up, the feeds were still going when I woke up, and it's just when you turn that on and you actually witness something happening like this, it just makes all of the bad parts of the show, I don't want to say worth it, but it's why we stick with the show because of moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lance, you haven't been able to be here. I'm very curious, right? So, like, we saw these guys come together, and they basically had a realization that, like, Ameerah and all the girls were just kind of like finessing them the entire last week to get Pooch out, and they were like, "Look, they've been basically giving Taylor the cold shoulder. Brittany's not really in the mix. Let's grab them and then let's just do this." And we saw the leftovers form, and basically we watch them in perfect form, like pretend not to know what's going on, fake cry, fake being sad. Like how do you feel about this leftovers alliance and all the members?
Yeah, we definitely have seen people earn their Oscar nominations this week. But for me, I have very mixed emotions. I'm trying to keep it in the mindset of a fan and just hope and pray that this isn't something that production itch people to do. Because honestly, Turner was so set on his plan. He was so set on like for his initial noms to already to be Michael and Brittany. And then for him to have this like grand recollection, the boys come together, and the set plan was originally to put up Nicole and Taylor be out the door easy peasy. For me, I'm so happy. I've been a Taylor stan from the beginning. Even when we was she was getting all that bad treatment, and we was even thinking about like let's give it a hiatus. I was one person who was like, no, like we need to be there to talk about it, and I was happy that y'all continued on. But if I look at it in a fan standpoint, it gets me up. It makes me excited. I love to see people play the non-clan mentality because Lance in the house, that's how I would be. For me, I'm not doing what the previous HOH or the group of the house wants to say. If it's good for my game, and that's my alliance, that's what I'm doing. But I'm never about to sit there and play the game that Isaiah, Josie, and Katie want to do. I need to look out for with me. But if us four come together and that's what it's going to be, I love it. So seeing the leftovers be created, it's kind of mixed bag because it's like it's guy dominated. So 9 times out of 10, we're going to get a guy winner if they do steamroll. But if a guy do win, I hope it's someone like Michael. That's just what I'm hoping. I'm so proud of him and his 3 vetoes. But I'm excited to see how it plans out because it seems so perfect for me, perfect for them now. They have the majority, especially with pulling off the plan and things like that. And if they could, win the next couple weeks and just get their key people out, I wish this week was fucking Jasmine and not Ameerah. But we couldn't get that this week.
Josie, I'm shocked that Taylor is in this position now. I mean, we've been sitting here the past few weeks, like some people want her to go home for her own well-being. I'm like, don't kick her out. She still wants to be there. She wants to play, and we got that moment that we've been begging for weeks. Despite the means of how it came, we see Taylor in at least a group now. I don't know what the longevity is, but she's in a group. They're running the house, and it's looking like a potentially bright future for Taylor. So, I mean, how do you feel about this complete flip side of Taylor's game?
I'm in the same boat as Lance. Immediately, Taylor hit my screens preseason, and I was like, "This is my girl." I think a lot of us share kind of the same sentiments because she looked like she was ready to play the game. She had a good head on her shoulders, And then later on, throughout the show, we kind of see her potential in competitions. So obviously, this is a prime person who should be the perfect, almost a semblance of a perfect player, right? But obviously with the treatment and how everything went down, it was very discouraging to see her go and try to navigate it. And it's hard to try to, navigate a game when 9 times out of 10, like no one wants to even give you that opportunity. We've seen people before put their mouth, like their foot in their mouth, ruin their HOHs or like the paranoia strike and make them a target. But Taylor just was Taylor, I guess, and people don't like a strong, independent Black woman. What can I say? It is what it is. So to have this upside, whether it was production induced or not, I don't care. A win for a Black woman is a win for me. And I know that's right. I am excited for her. The thing is that the girls are still going to hate her. Alyssa's going to hate her because she breathes in Kyle's direction. Jasmine is just weird. And so, people are always going to hate her. But at least now she has a chance. It feels like, I'm not going to say it's equal, but a lot of times players don't have an even playing field, which is why we asked for 50% diversity in the first place. And so to see her be put in an alliance, I'm not saying she's in the best position anyways, because if they make it to the end, I don't know if they're bringing her. But, I'm glad that at least she has that door open so that she can navigate the game now in her way, the way she wants to.
So anyone can chime in here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to save that for the actual player ranking. When we talk about the HOH. But this is one person who we're not going to rank before we hop into like anything ranking wise. But I do have two questions. How do we feel about Ameerah? I mean, like last week she was. I'm not going to say high, but like she was semi up on the list. And I mean, I kind of called it, but completely flopped. They blindsided the hell out of her. This is easily like a top 10 like Big Brother blindside in my opinion. Like how do we feel about Ameerah? Because I mean she definitely was a player with potential, but like I don't know if there was a way to really come out of this alive without like finding out. Like how do we feel about Ameerah as a player?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to. Actually, this blindside kind of gave me, Big Brother can this season of Steph. Isn't it Stephanie?
Yeah.
He literally was so shocked that, because she talked about, even in the feeds, Katie knows because she watched the feeds, how like if I get blindsided, they even showed a little bit of it in the episode. If the votes flip, I'm going crazy. Like, should I go crazy? And we didn't get that. Like, she was too shocked. And it reminded me how Stephanie was so shocked. I wanted more from her, like more shockness. But I personally, yes, Ameerah has talked a lot of shit about Taylor in the last couple weeks, especially this week. I personally liked it, Ameerah as a player. I saw a lot of old player in her. I saw like Allison and people like that. And that's some of the people I used to like go for, cheer for. I saw Ameerah like she knew the game. I could see her navigating the game deep. But I just think she was just on the wrong side of like the girls, and that mentality of everything Paloma stuck in their head. And then you got negative Nancy Jasmine. You got Miss Butter Biscuits Jasmine. And it just messed it up and tainted her. Because in all honesty, yes, she was a part of creating that. But I guess since Jasmine was so safe, you put the blame on Ameerah as the strategic one. Kyle put it all on Ameerah. I saw her doing great in this game, and it sucks that she had this had to happen to her. But if a blindside is gonna happen, I'm okay. It's someone who talks shit about Taylor. It's the Taylor's revenge, from Paloma's exit to Jasmine's broken leg to Pooch's booches, and now you got Sago Ameerah. Who's next?
I just think she got too cocky. Like they even showed her on the show, but she was talking on the feeds about how Big Brother's easy. I never knew Big Brother was this easy. Meanwhile, there's this blindside happening around her that she doesn't even realize is going on. Like, why would they think that Terrence is who's going to go here? Why would Turner get rid of Terrence? It was just like they weren't thinking. And I do think they really thought that she was the head of the snake because she had like a decent game sense, but I just think she had a huge ego and she was cocky and it got the best of her.
That's what made it so much better, Katie, is the fact that she literally, Julie even called out in the exit interview, like, girl, you just was saying that this game was easy.
Easy. Yeah.
Baby. In week 3.
Yeah.
That was Julie Chen, not Julie Chen Moonves.
Yes, okay, that was Julie Chen.
That was Chen Bumps.
Old school. That's old school.
No, honestly, my thoughts on Ameerah are very I think what a great Big Brother player is that they're confident and they're humble, but they also have that tiny sense of paranoia where nothing is for sure in this game. So far, we've had 2 twists. And it's been week 3 in this season alone. Why is it that you feel 100% comfortable? Even if let's say perhaps that you have the votes, you should never feel comfortable in the game of Big Brother. The whole motto is expect the unexpected. So why are you now sitting on the feed talking about this game is so easy, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling Terrence, I'm going to kiki and jury, blah, blah, blah. Like with such arrogance, girl, what? It's like common sense again is something very important in the art of Big Brother. And I feel like a lot of people lack it. And Ameerah, if she's so good in the game and she thinks she's all that, wouldn't she tap into it and go, I am a target. And what has Terrence done? I've been calling him furniture
But
these last 3 weeks. So
doesn't it give you the same thought of like in Survival when people be like, you know, when that like mode when they be feeling like it's just it could never be me this round and the round they go out. That's literally what it gave, and it got me up. That's why I wanted like something explosive. We haven't had a big super explosive moment since like the Colin X, you know, even though that was just then. But like I need something like hot and heavy, like because I know me. I think I will walk out of the house ungraceful. Oh well, I got blind.
Me too. Me too.
You got me out.
I probably wouldn't
see how good you are.
I probably wouldn't expose people's game as heavy because I feel like, you know, that's a little much. That's a little bitter Betty. Don't do that. But I'm gonna blow up some. Like I'm gonna smoke. It's gonna be something where they have me on a YouTube top 10 Big Brother.
Are you going to be like Kylan talking about someone's family member, or like
explosive, kind of like how Cody had walked on the table?
Okay,
big ass walking on the table.
I think of like Howie calling like Mike Boogie a punk and throwing his hat across to him. You know,
even Tanisha last season, she had some things to say before she left, and she did the damn thing. That's what I mean. I think that part of the game is also really interesting because. Again, not Dre management, but people management is a part of the game, and a lot of people forget that. So someone leaving the game, it's fair game. I gotta make sure that whoever is leaving the door does not want to throw me under the bus, but that's a part of the game. So I like to see those explosive moments of people having to be like, oh, fuck, I now have to go and adapt again and figure out. I think if you can survive that and you win, no one can say shit about you. You know, these people like to say, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Well, if you can conquer something like that, that's one of the biggest challenges in the game. So, you know, I think kudos. I would have loved to see Ameerah do that. But again, she gave me nothing. Are we surprised?
I'm looking in the chat. Go ahead.
Sorry, Isaiah. Do you think she knew? Because she wasn't dressed for the comp. And she was sitting there. She seemed really nervous. Like, do you think it was just like she was scared that she was going to go?
It's a couple people that wasn't dressed for the comp. Indy wasn't really dressed for the comp. So I guess she's a girl's girl. You know, she got to look the part, baby. I don't know. It's so hard. Like, I mean, at the back of my mind, I know me personally. Like, if I know I'm sitting next to Terrence. Like,
that should tell you you're
the whole week.
That should tell you you're out.
I'm being Paloma. Yes. That whole week because I'm sitting next to Terrence. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If I'm looking at myself, kind of how she said, I'm sitting next to Terrence, I will vote me out.
Me too.
You're going home. I will vote you out too. So I will be paranoid as heck. I'm not stupid.
I mean, I'm looking in the chat. Josi said, so confident that she did not pack her bags.
The word.
So. No, that's what I mean by arrogance.
That's what she whispered to Jasmine. She was like, "Hey, don't forget to pack something for her." People think she was doing a strategy, but if you go back and kind of listen, she was like, "Don't forget to pack that too."
Wait, you could hear her?
Kind of a little bit. Like it was something about pack. I remember pack.
Oh my God.
Are you sure it's not Paloma's pack?
Oh, I don't know. You're right.
I don't know.
Rest in peace to Paloma's pack.
The hold that Paloma has on this season, and she's been gone for God knows how long.
It's giving Paul BB19 actually.
It's
scary because she didn't do too much. She honestly, let's be real. What did Paloma really like? What does Paloma really have that can have such a hold on people? I don't know what it is, but damn,
I think it was it was definitely listening to how people explain. It's kind of like the reverse Hannah Chada, right? Where it's like the little sister role, but like she's in charge, you know? So everyone like little sister wants a present. I'm going to give little sister that present, you know, like that's all they want. They wanted to cater to the younger player. I don't know, but enough about Paloma. I mean, we're 20 minutes in. We have a whole lot of people to get through.
Before we get to the ranking,
because Paloma's not taking ownership, so I don't care to talk about her.
Trash.
I do want to say one thing before we start ranking players. I just want to address something on the Twitter timeline. Okay, I want to talk about these evicted house guests and their reactions to live feeds. I think it's absolutely ridiculous how much these people will spin, try to conceive a lie about the live feeds. Yeah, we don't see it 24 hours. Some of us also, as much as we are live feeders and we've seen like we have no lives, we have lives. So obviously we're not on there 24/7, but someone always is. And that's what's great about twitter.com. Someone's always watching and letting us know, and you can go back in time.
Yes, you can flash back.
Okay.
So
There's also a Taryn Armstrong out
Here's a
there.
question.
So.
So in this
that's
group,
very true.
in this group, the person who feeds the most, this is no shade to anyone. Is it you, Katie?
I don't know. I'm in and out. I'm not like on all the time, but I'm on. Or if I'm not
It's
watching,
her.
I'm keeping up. I'm
Yeah,
keeping up
it's her.
on
Twitter has
Twitter.
definitely been my friend because feeds for me. I feel like I never came in at the right time. I used to be a big feeder when I was a youngster. When I was watching like BB8 and stuff, I used to be a good feeder. Now I feel like if it wasn't for Twitter, baby, I would miss all the good stuff.
Oh, I mean, Twitter keeps us
Yeah.
updated.
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah.
more on feeds Twitter than I'm on the feeds themselves.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, the moment I checked out of feeds was All Stars 2, when Big Brother just decided to erase an entire day from history
Yeah.
because of a wall yelling. That was the point where I was like, I'm not watching this as committed as I used to. So it's hard, man. I pay attention to them when I have to be in RHAP and I have to do the live feed updates. That's when I watch it. But like, I don't. I'm Twitter is my friend right now. I'm as casual as it can be, so it's kind of sick. But
I thought you were gonna say that you stopped watching after Turn It Up, because honestly,
hey, that's all kind of.
that's all we're
Listen, why are we hating on Turn It Up? I love Turn It Up.
I
love Turn
Katie,
It Up.
I was on the feeds. Girl, I was
Me
on the
too.
feeds.
Me
But
too.
you
And I was like,
turn it up
Turn It
every
Up.
2 seconds.
Love it.
That was time to. I
It
was
was
like, no,
dope,
there's no
and
more
then
time
it
to
got-
I
celebrate.
love Turn It Up. I
I'm
miss
out.
it.
There was
It
also
did some damage.
Wasn't it BB20 when they changed the little background to that little pop art?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
But
So.
like,
It was
just
better
the-
than last. Remember last season? It was that You're Playing with Fire song or whatever. It was horrible.
Oh.
Oh no, that was Celebrity Big Brother. That was scary.
It's a mess, man.
Turn
But,
It Up
like,
was better than that.
to be honest, like back to the feeds, I think some of these house guest responses are quite frustrating. Why can't we take accountability? Like, why can't we just sit there and say, you know what, I did this. Maybe that's not how I intended. If you want to say, oh, spin it, blah, 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 at least if you remain accountable, no one's going to get upset at you. At least you realize that, and at least you apologize. If you're being sincere, I don't know it. I can only see the characters on twitter.com. So, what you do from the comfort of your own house now is fine. But don't be acting like live feeds aren't sincere. They can't edit it as it go. So Baby Paloma, all that edited bullshit, talking citations, MLA format, APA, like it's not going to work on me. Like we see what's happening. This is why we watch live feeds. The whole point of the game is literally you are on camera. It's a social experiment. The literal logo is an eye. So you can't use this excuses. Pooch, you should have just sat there, said, you know what? I said what I said. Taylor's my girl. I didn't intend it, and kept it pushing. These long dissertations, having other alumni tell you to delete your tweets. I saw Miss Angela Rockstar, Queen, who follows me on Twitter, love ya, tell him to delete the tweet. It wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. And he just sat there and kept going. Pooch, delete it. Twitter is not for everyone. Create a burner account if you want to get into the Twitter tea, have fun, kiki with the girls. But Twitter's not for everyone. And Pooch, I think you need to stay off if you can't take accountability. Like any other house guest that's going to pull up. Ameerah, these interviews, her going, just take accountability and be real. Get out of here with that shit. I'm over
that
it.
edit that they made with Devon in the diary room, like, what you stuttering for? Like,
just be real. Just you can just sit there in silence and be like, hey, I just need to digest this question.
I will say this. We have to get ready to see Ameerah and Nicole on our screen again. Shout out to
Amazing Race.
Shout out to Amazing Race.
That's the most embarrassing shit I've ever seen.
Girl,
to say that shit on live television.
Girl, Nicole.
Amazing Race.
Nicole, of all people, girl. Right now, you are the worst Nicole ever. Like,
Deluded.
Girl.
Hold up. Franzo's kind of bad.
I think Crystal takes Fran.
No, lately,
real.
No, for me, because we got to go back to the episode. For her to sit there when Taylor was I wasn't here for it, so I don't know if y'all talked about it yet. But for her to sit there when Taylor's like, I thought this was a joke. What's going on? She was like, well, I'm not going to speak for someone.
He's speaking for you.
He literally is arguing with Taylor because of something you ran to him, baby. And Taylor sitting there trying to be clown and cute like my legs. Girl did not even know what was going on. And I will say my girl has the best cry in the world because that round when Turner did his speech, when Daniel was eating her up, she just go into the Girl, you better cry, baby. You better cry.
It's up there with Viola Davis. The
Baby,
Cry,
it's a
yeah.
Oh, y'all do.
Go back. You remember week 1 when she found out she was safe? When we got, every time my girl gave you what needed to be gave. Taylor is queen, is congeniality for a reason. But I'm telling you, Daniel's trashed me, and Nicole just is right up his butt plug. Like, girl,
yeah. Daniel's very cringe, man.
no,
He's
that's
very
what we're
cringe.
gonna see on Amazing Race, and I hope I'm on the same season with him, so I can U-turn him on week 1.
Get him for me. Well, I mean, since we're already talking about house guests, I think we should get into this ranking. That's about.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm messing up the whole.
Yeah.
No,
No, you're good.
We were 2 hours deep a couple weeks ago. You're fine. All right, so we can start talking about these people. A lot of people in F last time we did this,
and they will remain.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens, man. So real quick.
Here.
Yes, we did.
Be
I definitely pitched that. Taylor Nation, we salute.
Taylor should definitely be above the A's.
I don't think Taylor's going to be an F anymore. I mean, Taylor's here anymore. I think she might actually be on the chart this time. We'll see.
Taylor tier is under F. That's what y'all consider?
No, it's just like there.
No.
It's not part of the ranking.
It's like, no, let me stop. Yeah, she was playing a different game in general, so we didn't put her there.
We couldn't give her a tier.
Now that she's kind of in the structure, I feel like she can finally be ranked. So I mean, we can get to her last.
Y'all had Jasmine in. See, okay, Nicole is sick. Okay,
I was there for half of it. All right.
Hold on.
No. You were there for that part because we only did F without you.
I was.
Isaiah be trying to run from the drama.
No, let's be real.
Isaiah's going to be out there being like, "Life is edited." I didn't say that.
We literally
did
podcast, and we had just found out that like Michael and Brittany were going on the block. Like I told Katie, oh my God, they're going on the block. So keep that in mind. POV had not happened. All of this
leftovers didn't happen. This is all pre that. Yeah.
Also speaking, I mean, Katie, I know you've been paying attention. I don't know if you know, but Joseph says that we have noms. Do you know who Monty's nominated?
I believe it is Indy and Alyssa, and I think the plan is to backdoor Nicole.
We're gonna have to touch the block.
Yeah.
But that's
I know. I mean,
numbers.
I mean, Taylor has voiced that she didn't feel super comfortable with the idea of it, and Monty has, like been like, if you say the word, blah blah blah, cool. So I think they're at least trying to cater to her a little bit because they realize how valuable she is in the alliance. But like, we'll see if she actually gets up on the block. I think it really depends on POV.
And with this round, the POV we're gonna have probably a new POV because there's a very slim chance that Michael will play in another one, and it kind of sucks because I would have loved him to win 4 in a row.
Yep.
That's our plan.
He's serving DX.
Let's get into these people, y'all. So right now, the top of the board is Michael. Do we feel like Michael is still a B-lister? Is he still the top of the pack? I mean, he's a part of the leftovers. I think Palace Pack suspects him to be a part of the people who flipped and everything now. But I mean, does it really matter at this point? I don't think.
I think he said
he owned up to his vote.
They came up with a good excuse about someone Taylor overhearing them talking about Poe's pack in the storage room and then telling Terrence and then Terrence spreading it around. So they came up with the whole story because they knew they would have to explain themselves. I think it was really Kyle that mostly came up with that story, but they're all sticking to it.
I think Michael's the first one to own up to his vote, actually, like confront from it. And then what I saw, at least my perception was Joseph went and like was talking to people individually, and like they were all kind of running to each other one-on-one. And then they sat down at one point. We were like, okay, everything seems fleshed out, just making sure, and then move from there. So, you know, I do think that he's playing a good game, because at the end of the day, the girls are mad. Yes. Okay. But there's like 3 people that they would rather go again, like target first before him. So, i.e. Monty, Taylor, and then maybe even Kyle. It's kind of weird. Or Monty even. I think a lot of people kind of feel some type of way towards Monty too, but he's HOH, so they can't say shit. Spoiler, but
Yeah, and I did see that Terrence even was talking with like Joseph and was like, I know who my four votes was. So I think and he got him spot on. So Terrence has been running that narrative around the house as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you start to put your pieces together and you can either deny it or live it up. And at this point, I would live it up. Like it's for people on the outs. Like, yeah, if a Nicole or a Daniel or a Jasmine Indy wins a HOH, then you have to worry about who they're going to strike at first. But at this point, do we care? No.
No.
Right. I think for
So
Michael's ranking, I would probably put him in A at this point. I think
Okay.
he's smart enough to know that he can't go all the way to the end with Kyle. So, and I know his ideal end game is Indy, Taylor, and Brittany, and he can beat any one of those three. If he does end up sitting next to them, he's a veto king. He's a comp beast. I think he will win HOH soon. I just think he knows exactly what he needs to do as a true fan of this game to get to jury, get to this place with this alliance that he needs to be, and then start cutting people loose. I think he'll be the first one to flip on the leftovers, and I think he has what it takes to get really far, if not take it to the end.
I guess I need one more week of convincing for Mike because I think Michael is a great player so far, has been really good. But you know, at the end of the day, people will start eventually seeing that like, oh, Mike's a threat. He already, convinced him to be a part of leftovers. He's won 3 vetoes. And honestly, the real person who concocted this week and pulled it all together, who I think should be in A and in A alone, is Kyle. So I think Michael, for me, needs one more week. But whatever the consensus is, if y'all put Michael in A, I'm gonna accept it because Michael's playing a really good game. And I don't feel like people are gonna start thinking he's a threat, but I feel they got so much other like inner turmoil that Michael is not gonna be thought of to get like evicted, nominated, etc. until later down the line. And they're gonna try to backdoor him because they don't want him to play in the veto.
I'm going to agree with Lance here. I want to give him like one more week. I think he's an easy contender to be in. I just don't think he has a complete hold on the house yet, and that's a big factor for me. I feel like if you're just like, it doesn't even need to be dominating fashion. If you're just like on everyone's good list, like how we saw Kevin last season, for example, where like Kevin didn't even need to necessarily be an active player or actively like throw people's names out or anything or even win anything. Just everyone trusted him to the point where like he was never an option to go home. I don't think Michael is there just yet, but I'm inclined to move him up maybe next week. It's still so early, and we've only seen leftovers survive 1 week. I'm curious to see how tight this alliance would be if a non-leftovers person won HOH. That's the only reason why I'm like, let me see first. But I mean, I'm not against it.
And Michael did hit the block with turning before, so his social game isn't as high as showcasing before the leftovers were created. That's just a little bit of my thought with it.
I think I see him very similar to Kevin, actually, Isaiah, in that way. I don't think he needs to be having a hold on the house, because I think if the girls come into power, or whatever's left of them after this week, they're going for Kyle, they're going for Monty, they're going for Joseph. They're not going for Michael. So I really think that he's in the best spot out of all the guys in the leftovers, even without the leftovers as a consideration, because Taylor trusts him probably more than any of the other guys in that alliance. Maybe Joseph now too. And Brittany. And I think he has the 2 of them locked in as super solid. He has a final 2 with Kyle. And I think Kyle probably trusts him the most out of the guys. They have a lot of really good game talks. I don't think the girls really are thinking the way that they should be thinking and saying this guy wins every single comp that he's in, basically, except no HOHs yet, but that's fine. He comes in close to winning HOH. We didn't see this comp yet, but I just think, Joseph says in the chat, it's his game to lose. I actually really agree. I think he's in a really, really good spot right now, and no one's looking at him as like the mastermind, which will allow him to kind of just coast his way to the end, even though he's making a lot of moves behind the scenes.
One thing about Katie, she will fight for somebody, baby. I remember.
I'm fighting for Michael.
No,
I'm fighting for this man.
I actually agree with Katie a lot on this, because to me, when I think of Kevin, we're gonna shout out Kevin every
podcast.
Episode.
Shout out to Kevin.
Shout out to Kevin. But I think Michael is in such a good position in the house. Retrospectively, like, I think people, even though he's won vetoes, people don't underestimate him still, just because he may not have the built or the look of other male house guests in the house, which is kind of a shame because that's how these people pull these wins out, and then you have to hear his goodbye message on a record. So I think he's in the best position. He I think has the closest amount of allies like wanting him to be at the end, like Katie had mentioned. I think also again, even though he was a part of the post pack alliance, I don't think people hate him for it. They don't really feel this like strong emotion versus like Monty and Kyle. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at this list and I'm like, I'm thinking Michael is like either side of the house, like at least the seventh, eighth person on people's list to go after, regardless of the side of the house. So I think, he deserves to be celebrated in that sense. But I do see where you guys are coming from in putting necessarily him in the A, but I definitely think he's top 3 in the house.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give. So how about this? I'll put him A for now.
No, you need to be.
We can
man.
reevaluate.
Man, you need to learn how to stand on your. You let Kate and just talk you up. We was gonna be a stalemate for a little bit.
Listen. I still think he's a B tier, but listen, if he drops, then guess who was right all along? Me and you, Lance. You know what I'm saying?
I have a really good track record of not being wrong.
That's true. Josie.
Especially
that's fine. I actually think Michael's in a great position. I just don't know.
I love y'all.
I don't know yet.
Rosie and Katie, this is what I used to love about us in the UK. We used to fight for our people. And I love what you did. But on to Kyle. Kyle deserves to be in front of Michael. Period.
Yeah.
I think
I disagree.
Yeah, same.
Let's talk about this week, babes. This week, Kyle was the ringleader, bringing it in. He even was someone who's been helping concoct this lie and create the narrative that was rammed. Yes, when the other side of the house do strike, they're going to strike, but y'all think they're going to strike at a Kyle? No, they're going to strike at the same person they've been targeting all this time, Taylor, and Monty going to be sitting right next to her. I don't even see them going for Kyle. I feel Kyle has a good range and pull with a lot of people, even though he was the one who created the Ameerah narrative, brought those guys together, made them realize, hey, let's pick these leftovers, and got Turner to make it happen. Kyle, for me, ran this week. And if we're speaking on week to week, Kyle is definitely A, and Kyle is above Michael. That's my stance. Let's see how.
So I actually agree with you here. Yeah, I feel like Kyle should be in front of Michael. The only error I see with his game right now isn't really error because he's obviously very uncomfortable with the way Alyssa's been moving. So
this was going to be what I was going to say.
Yeah, like it reminds me of like Tyler and Caitlin Herman, right? Like Tyler
had a whole it's Gina Marie and Nick.
Yeah, I mean, look,
references.
Gina Marie and Nick, Tyler and Caitlin Herman, where it's like you have such a hold on someone, and it's great for your game to keep them there as a shield. But you're so uncomfortable, and you want them to go. I can't stop you. Like if she's over here touching you and licking your arms and trying to touch your crotch, look, if you don't like it, I get it. So like, I'm not going to blame him for what to do. I'm not going to punish his game for that. I personally think strategically he should be keeping Alyssa there, but I also get it, so that's just like if a woman was uncomfortable with something, even though they were like obviously like that person will be loyal to them. I'm not going to blame them for wanting to get them out, So I personally think they kind of, I mean, hot take, but this reminds me of like Tyler and JC's like partnership.
I was just going to say Tyler and JC.
Yeah, we're like, I think Michael's a JC here though, and I think Kyle's the Tyler. Where I feel like
I was saying Alyssa was JC touching. I
think Kyle. When it comes down to just the alliance, let's say the leftovers steamrolls a season, I think people are inclined to listen to Kyle before they listen to Michael.
Let me step in. Let me step in and diffuse this narrative. Okay. Here's my thing. Do I think Kyle really led this team to the water, to hydrate from this desert? Absolutely. Don't think I don't think that. However, in the future, moving forward, if I had to pick someone to target, I'm picking Kyle over Michael any day. And that to me is what's scary. And I don't think he realizes that. I think he doesn't cognitively realize that his threat potential, his target potential. And I think Michael is a little bit more self-aware than Kyle is in that regard, and like introspective. And I think while Alyssa is not in, like, he can't control Alyssa, and I'll get into her because she's weird. I think that him and always talking about her to other house guests, I was watching feeds and I was like, why do you keep mentioning her? Why are you guys always a topic of conversation? If I have to constantly talk about you and your whatever this is happening, your mind is always front in my mind because I constantly have to hear you talk about it, or I have to hear her talk about it, or if I have to hear someone else in the house talk about it. Showmances are a big problem. I'm not saying that that's what he wants to do, or he's riding with it. You know, he says sometimes he wants to wait until jury, whatever. That's his prerogative. Your love life outside of the game has nothing to do with me. But at the end of the day, that is just such a huge target in addition to that. And I think the girls are way madder at Kyle. So if by a miraculous chance, one of these girls gets HOH and there's a flip that happens, odds are Monty or Kyle are on that block and they're getting blindsided. Yeah, they hate Taylor, blah, 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 blah. Taylor is her own entity, but at the end of the day, he will be targeted before Michael. And that to me is not good long term. And I don't think he has not the common sense, but I think he's not introspective enough to be critical of where he stands in the house in respect to everyone else.
I think he belongs in A for sure. I just don't think he belongs above Michael, because I think Alyssa is such a vital part of his game right now. Absolutely. And he's willing to throw that away. And I agree with you, Isaiah. He deserves to feel uncomfortable. She's like Josie said, she's weird, and I don't like the energy that she gives off. She's really inappropriate after he's very clearly tried to set boundaries with her multiple times. It's not okay the way that she acts towards him, but I do think like there are other ways, like talk to production or something and have them talk to her. Like there's other ways to get around it, but we
heard Davon's story. They don't give a fuck.
Well, right. That's true. That's true. I just think she's giving him so much info. He would have not known about old school. He wouldn't have known about girls. I mean, she's feeding him everything. She's unknowingly a mole and feeding this information to this entire alliance, and he's willing to just cut it. And I just don't think that's the right move for him right now. And he does want to backdoor Nicole. He's more interested in that than getting rid of Alyssa this week. But to be so willing to just cut off it's like a huge like burst pipe of like the dam broke and she's just giving him all this information. He's just like, no, let me just build up this dam again. Like I don't need this information. Like we got to block this water up. To me, that's a little bit of a blind spot. But I think you're right. I think he's just Josie. I think he's a way bigger target than Michael at this point because he's a big, tall, strong guy. And Michael was never put into that category with Monty, with Joseph, with Kyle. But the three of them are. So I feel like if you're a girl's girl, if they even exist anymore, you're taking a shot at a Joseph, a Monty, a Kyle. You're not going for Michael.
Well, they should.
Now. They should go for Michael. But
we're giving them the benefit
well, if they were smart enough, yeah, they should. Who knows? They'll go for Taylor over anybody because they're obsessed. But that's just why I think he does belong in A, though. I think he did great work. He is an amazing actor.
Definitely amazing actor. Nominated.
Worthy.
Yes.
What you say?
Oscar worthy.
Yes. Yes.
Oh no.
Best picture.
Between the two of Michael, best picture. Between Michael and Kyle, one of these two is winning the game. It's just a matter of who cuts who first. And I think Michael is smarter than Kyle.
It's very early.
No, I felt this way about Kev. Actually, like, let's be real. I do think
we need to have
Isaiah.
A
okay,
counter. We need to have a Kevin counter.
Here's why.
Me too.
Okay, take a shot every time we say Kevin. Have fun. But no, here's why. It's just like, let's be real. Let's be freaking real here. White men automatically they're automatically in a better standing than everyone else.
Y'all sleep. Joe's about to come sweep, girls.
No, because at the end of the day, Joseph is still a minority, and America and everyone in between hates us. So, it is what it is. I think Joseph, we'll talk about him when we get to him, but at the end of the day, people are more likely to feel less intimidated or likely to go towards them or think they're likable. Like, for God's sake, like, Kyle twerks on TikTok for a living. Like, let's use
use
real.
That term light. He's not twerking anything.
Girl, you telling me? I know he ain't twerking, but I'm saying it for the public. Okay.
Break it back, baby.
So it's like, I think they're automatically in a better place, and people go up to them for the alliances if they're not creating them though between those two often. Like I think, Monty might be like, oh, let's add a Monty, let's add a Joseph, let's add a whoever. But a lot of the time these people are the first names on people's minds. So you know what? I do think that they're in the best position to win. I don't really see anyone else topping that. They really hate, like, if it was just like a normal season with no weird behavior, I'd be like, okay, there's some people, but they hate Taylor too much. Ain't no way they're gonna let Monty win. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. I'm an honest. I'm a truther, as they say. Like, come on.
All right. So listen, we gotta move on because we've been on these two forever.
Yeah,
I saw them start.
Put her in F.
I'm not gonna.
Wait, are we leaving Kyle and B?
No.
Yeah, we gotta.
I'm not gonna fight it. I know y'all not gonna put him above Michael.
Oh no, I'm gonna do it just to.
No, put him.
You can do it, then Josie and I'll be right.
But
the thing is, put Kyle after, because these girls be fighting. What I mean, Josie and Katie, they be fighting, baby. And yeah, so look, I'll give it to y'all this time. Because baby, that was a long little.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say though is that instead of this being Michael over Kyle, I'm more so see this as equal footing.
Yeah, I think they're equal. I agree with you. Yeah, you should be able to put them on top of you, like rank things on top of you.
Yeah, I wish.
Tier list.
But I do want to talk about my preseason fave. Now,
so where in F are we putting her, man? Like,
we're putting her last up F. She is the trash. She actually need to go under.
She was your preseason fave?
She needs a Nicole tier. Look, I know y'all got problems with her being a cop and all of that, but I
ain't
saw so much potential of Nicole. Nicole was someone that I was so excited to see play this game. And, older woman, and then seeing how she linked up with Daniel early on, I was like, Nicole is going to find that sweet spot and be in that, like, no man's land, the bird's cage seat that they see. But this little week went from she look Joseph, come on now. Yes, Lance like the Nicole preseason. Lance said yeah. So, but this week has taught me a lot, and I think we need to create a Nicole's tier since y'all want to make a Taylor's tier. Nicole is.
Whoa.
I know, I'm joking.
I'm like,
her game is tainted, and I'm still not over the fact that she the reason that Daniel went off on my girl this week. And I am a little bitter about it. And then when Taylor just want to talk to her, she's just gonna sit there and say, "I'm not gonna speak for him, baby. It's because of you."
You know what's bad? Yeah. When you have the ability to convince people to do things, but you don't have a good intuition, so you convince them to do something horrible. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't want to take any blame away from Daniel, because Daniel is trash and was looking for an excuse to go off on Taylor this whole time. So, I mean, he is speaking with full hate in his heart towards this woman who has done nothing.
That's why I said that week that Taylor had said that she had a crush on Daniel, he probably was cringing.
Oh, don't remind me.
This black woman likes me. This black woman likes me, baby. Ooh, I'm scared. Like, he just been like Katie said, has been finding a way to. Ooh, we're gonna get to him. But Nicole,
I just don't want to give Nicole any out, or like Daniel any out to say like Nicole made him, because this man was just waiting. He was waiting.
Nah, I'm definitely. I can see someone going under Nicole, but for now, Nicole has to be bottom of F. Like it's really bad, man. Like
game wise, I just have to say her game is horrendous. Aside from the whole Taylor stuff, like, let's be real for a second. Let me tell you the saga that we went through feeds. This girl has been crying, throwing tantrums left, right, and center. For her, a woman her grown ass age, she sure act like she's 3. She acts worse than my little cousin, and she's 4. Let's calm it down. First of all, her crying, for the people who watch her show and are just casuals or whatever, she's not crying because she has to throw a veto competition. She's crying because production is telling her how she looks in regards to how she treats Taylor, and she's throwing a fit instead of being accountable, which is a common theme along with common sense that these people do not have. And so for her to cry, do all these theatrics, and for Taylor to be like, whatever you're going through, like whatever, and her lose her goddamn mind over a semblance of kindness is mind-boggling to me. And this is what I mean. People will hear what they want to see and hear. Because in no other context would you see someone do that and think, this person's sick, they want me to quit, blah, 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 blah. But, Nicole is on this whole other wave.
I think
And then
production is doing that deep though, like that deep of telling them. I think it's.
I think it's kind
hinted.
of confirmed
It's not like
that
hey,
that's what the diary room session was about. I don't think we know exactly what they said to her, but I think we know for sure that it was some kind of warning about Taylor for sure.
But it's the fact that she then went and alienated herself from other people. Like even Daniel, she fought with Daniel because she was feeling some type of way, and it didn't look good on her game. And that's her number one. You're fighting with Indy, fighting with Alyssa. It's just constant tantrums and taking her allies away.
Here's the issue. The Paloma sickness is really bad because it's like the amount of work Paloma did to brainwash a lot of these people. Like I thought Brittany was the hypnotist coming in this season. Paloma
miss, babes.
Yeah, like it's crazy because I think Paloma really convinced a handful of this house that that Taylor talks so much trash about people that a lot of the stuff that Taylor says now, due to her tone being very she has the same tone when she talks, it comes off as passive aggressive or sarcastic. So when she says things like, "Oh, I'm a fake bitch," I know, blah blah blah, they actually think that she's being rude, but she's really just she's just bubbly, that ass. So I don't think they understand that because it's programmed in their mind that she is being sarcastic and passive aggressive and petty to me when it's nothing of the sort. That's not what she's being, so it's Nicole already in her tantrum mode took that information like what she said and it was oh, you're being rude to me, or and then Daniel's dumbass who already doesn't like Taylor already thinks delays or all that stuff she's being passive aggressive. She's no, she just doesn't know what you guys are talking about, so it's really I think it's a whole lot of miscommunication as well as just ignorance. But regardless, I mean, Nicole made a huge ass out of herself this week. So it's she tanked her game, easily could be blindsided this week, and she did it to herself at this point. So I mean, what are you gonna do? And it's unfortunate because I think her and Ameerah were the first people to realize hey, let's weaponize Taylor's situation and bring her in, and they were sticking with that for 5 seconds. And then Jasmine was nah, fuck that. We're not doing that. So
Jasmine for me.
Yeah, so it's annoying. But what are you gonna do? Nicole's definitely F. I don't think anyone.
And we're gonna see her.
Well, let me say my piece on Nicole.
Yeah, get into her.
I find Nicole to actually be the most unpredictable, emotional, mentally, maybe not emotionally immature. She cannot control her emotions, and it's actually scary to watch what's happening on the feeds with her. Truly, she's and I don't think unhinged is an offensive thing to say. I'm not sort of diagnosing her with anything, but she's unhinged. I mean, in 1 second she'll be. Last night, Terrence came in the room and was I don't know if it was last night, it might have been today, but whenever Terrence came into the room and said, "Joseph is cooking lamb," and she goes, "Fuck Joseph, fuck him, he doesn't want to tell me who he's voting for, then fuck him, I'm not helping him, I'm wiping anybody's ass." Bitch, you did wipe someone's ass, by the way. You did. Literally. We know you did.
Jasmine.
You literally did. And she's if people don't want to tell me who they're voting for, then fuck this. And it's whoa. Terrence was yeah, he didn't ask me to come ask you to help. I was just letting you know in case you, because I don't know if he knows how to cook lamb. What is happening? She's yelling at people because Alyssa said one thing with Indy in the room. She's yelling, having outbursts in the house. I was truly watching the feeds when the veto nomination ceremony happened and they found out that Ameerah was about to be blindsided. I was nervous of what her reaction was going to be because she is unpredictable, which is not what you want in a law enforcement officer. I'm just saying it's a good thing she no longer is on the streets. That's all I'm saying. It's just she's out of control, truly out of control. And Daniel is just a little parrot in her ear, and they hype each other up and and they're just filled with hate and vitriol and remorse. Not remorse, I'm sorry, but just disgusting feelings towards Taylor for literally no reason. And to me, that shit it's unpredictable behavior, and that's scary. And you can't play a game with a person like that.
I was curious, Isaiah. You said that you would put someone behind Nicole,
furniture,
but for me, I think that
potentially,
I think she has the worst game because
Me too.
she has
Listen.
literally turned against some of her number one allies. How
Mhm.
now you told this Terrence that you are a cop 10 years, sending him home. I'm gonna be so sad, blah, 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 and he's still in the house. He's in a better position than you. That is
That's
so
literally
embarrassing. She fought
that's
with Daniel this week. It's so embarrassing. Like people are gonna, her closest allies are gonna turn on her way easier than like someone who might be like, I don't know, but what? Like I feel like people aren't gonna have her back anymore because she's
no,
such a loose cannon.
She's
no,
out there saying that Terrence is her soulmate in the game, but she voted against
Ah.
this man and said to his face, "You're going home. The house is voting against you."
Yeah, that was
when
a
you have no
crazy
clue
meeting.
what's actually going on in this house.
Yeah,
So
I
why
literally
would Terrence want to be your ally after that?
Yeah, I literally was about to bring that up, and it's like when Turner had pulled Terrence in there and was like, let them know, like, I know how to vote, a lie, you got to keep it a secret. But seeing Nicole literally like, you're my soulmate in this game, I love you so much, but you're going on an amazing race with Ameerah, and then you also like sitting there. Like after the eviction, when she was like just hold on to Terrence, like, oh, this game is crazy. This game is crazy. Wow, wow, wow. Like, girl, you
I'd be
literally
like, get
was
off me.
telling me a couple hours ago, like, you're going home. Like, I'm so sorry. And then even Daniel was the one who had to throw me a hinky vote. You didn't even think to, hey, throw me a hinky vote,
Right.
thinking that
That's
everyone was
wild.
voting me out, but I'm your soulmate. It's BS. Like, girl, bye. Sit
Mm.
yourself in F and keep it moving and get ready to
Bottom
go home.
F.
Enjoy that last spot of pre-jury, baby.
Yeah. But
I
there
want
you
her
go.
out pre-jury so she can come back to the heat that she's going to get on Twitter. I want her to see it as it's fresh. I don't want after the season
That would be like
heat.
if this
I want
Nicole-
it now.
if this Nicole thing happens, that's 3 out of 4 would be women. But like, what are you gonna do?
Listen, we have to root for
Um,
the
For
women
once,
season, okay?
for
We have
once,
to do
Yeah.
it.
I'm not.
What are
You know
you gonna
me.
do?
I'm a feminist at heart.
Same.
Yeah. What are you
But
gonna
It's Taylor's curse, babes, and let's
Yeah.
keep it.
do? I'm very
I'm a
happy
feminist
about
for Taylor. How about that?
So that's what I'm
That's what
saying.
saying.
All right.
And then we
All
want
right.
we want Butterbean in that last spot. I want Butterbean in that last.
I was just about to say. So it's time to talk about the the previous HOH.
Yeah.
Jasmine. I just wanted to quote her. Her
No, can I do
confessional
it?
for the week. No. Wait. Here's even better.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hey, Julie, you look prettier than a full rack of ribs.
Thank you. Hi,
Like-
Jas.
No, but I was gonna quote the fact of, baby, you got served a blindside Butterbean. Like she
Yeah.
got blindsided, baby, and it felt good for her Butterbean. Like I'm gonna talk in her accent the whole time because she changed it up in the diary room, so I can do it too. But yeah, when I talk about Miss Jasmine, I literally on every draft that I did, it was pretty much her and Nicole, and with Taylor because people would snatch Taylor up. But I was rooting for her and Nicole all this preseason.
Oh, Lord, have
And
mercy.
it's so crazy that after week 1, she went down on my list. And I can't even believe that she's still in this house with that broken foot. Oh, Black Christmas, like they say. It's so crazy because if you look on the feed, you can see how black that foot is. And I'm surprised she's still playing this game. But Jasmine is really trashy to me. And I'm really, really, really over Jasmine because I just want to be a blindside butterball or a rack of ribs.
I feel like I'm
Lance,
watching Nope.
you are lucky we didn't do this job. I would have been dragging you left,
Yeah,
right, and
I'm
center.
happy
These-
I'm happy I
these
wasn't there,
people-
baby, because you definitely would have ate me up, and I would have been a freaking man. You know who look. I just told y'all who my first 2 picks would have been, and it would have been Miss Butterball and
Oh,
Miss.
Lord, have
Well, and
mercy.
you could have had them. I think you would have been.
Oh, he would have
They
had
would have been
them.
yours. Yeah, they
He
would
I
would've
would have
had
had them, and I would have been gagging, because
I'll be damned.
yeah, no, Isaiah, you gotta do it like me. You gotta do the miss.
But like, I'm not doing that. But
Yeah.
but
she's my blindside Butterball this week.
yeah, she's horrible. Jasmine is up there with like some of my least favorite players like ever.
Absolutely.
Like it's so bad. But I think Jasmine's the reason that like she's either top F or low D is that her injury is really just going to carry her into the jury phase. Like she has Christmas upside. Like Christmas would have been a pre-juror if it wasn't for that injury. Same thing here. So I'm just like I think that she's literally the last person on their chopping block because it's like, what the hell is Jasmine going to do? She's freaking like passing out because of heights during challenge. You know, like come on now. She's on one foot.
I'm about to pass out.
Well,
That
here's
was
the thing
that.
with that, though.
What was
Like,
that?
she shouldn't be allowed to be on the show. If you can't participate in a main function of this show, you should be medevaced. Get out, or use your cane and hop around and do what you need to do. You don't need that scooter anymore. You're fine. Like, you don't need to hop everywhere you go. You could step on. It's your ankle, right? Your toes work. Just use your toes. Like, limp along. I just don't know. Like, if she's expecting a free pass because of this. She's throwing a fit that she had to be put on slop, and it's just like, if you're not going to participate in the game the way the game needs to be played, then get the fuck out. Get out.
Honestly, I couldn't have said it better myself, Katie. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because honestly, I would like the production to have the same energy as Survivor. It don't take too much to send someone a packet, and I need that from her now.
Get out.
I am so upset. She should not be on this cast. I said it last week. I'll say it again. She shouldn't be on there. Why is it that you are now like changing the game? This is not the game format that we're used to.
Nope.
People just let her go because she's on a scooter. But it's like, what's the point then? You're not playing the game, and it's frustrating. But besides from that point, because Katie said it perfectly, in terms of the rest of her game, I think she's in the best position in regards to the other girls that aren't in who aren't in Leftovers, which is crazy because goodness gracious. So it's hard for me to like knock her down because she actually does have some hole. Like, I think Jasmine is the next Ameerah in terms of leading the girls now moving forward.
Unfortunately.
And so she has that grip on the game. She's kind of the leader on the other side. And at the end of the day, what's crazy is that even though people will recognize that she's probably the leader, she still won't go because Miss Ma'am is rolling on wheels, and I have to hear that stupid wheel sound effect every time she's on screen.
It's like, I think they're
annoying.
cranking that sound effect up. Like, it's just like, it's so loud now. It's just like, I'm so done with
And
this.
she was the
Like,
leader
stop
before
it.
Ameerah to me. I just
Yeah.
feel that, they couldn't strike because she was with the HOH. And also, I wouldn't really waste my breath on someone who can't even do the comps that don't even involve your feet. So
No,
I
like,
wouldn't about her either.
let's be real. Part 3 HOHs are so tough and hard.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be. I don't see her, ain't no comp like they used to do back in the day. There's no comp where you can just hold a key
Right.
and struggle through the rain a la BB8. So, like, I don't think she's going to be able to do any of those comps, which is why she's giving Victoria BB16, even though she has a semblance of a game. Not to say that I hate Victoria, but let's be real. And so I just feel like she's guaranteed the end because I would take her and I would just cut her if I thought she had the votes. But she's done nothing. She really won't do anything too much. She's just leading a bunch of girls who don't tap into common sense, which isn't saying too much.
I also just think it's not fair because now it's negatively impacting Turner's game because she can't
Absolutely.
compete and they have to do everything together. So that's an
this
extra
whole
reason
twisted.
why it's an unfair advantage for everybody else and it's a disadvantage for Turner because he has a partner that can't compete and she hasn't
And
competed
you
in
didn't
what,
pick
like
her.
4 comps that she hasn't competed in. She competed this week. She's the first person that we saw have a red envelope and when I tell you I screamed.
Gagging. Katie, I was gagging. I was like
no.
Because the round she won HOH was definitely a call that Big Brother Can would have never let happen. They would have reviewed that tape and said, "Miss Girl, we're going to redo everything around."
That's not true.
And then she wouldn't have won because she already had broke her ankle.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
it's just a mess. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to be talking to my accent while we talk about Jasmine. But yeah, like she really drives me wild. And I want to shout out Valencia, who has shouted me out all this time. I love you, Valencia, girl. I hope you eating some butterbean biscuits for Jasmine. But I do agree. I think Jasmine do have a little bit of a game, and I think she deserves to at least stay at D because it's definitely some people who's going to surpass D for me. And it's some people who has way less game than her right now. So I think Jasmine at least deserves to stay at D, and we'll see because I don't see them striking at Jasmine like kind of how we spoke about. Like Jasmine is draining to me. I feel like if I was in the house, they lucky they don't have somebody in the house like me. They was like Taylor. Taylor's just so sweet, that she's like trying to fix these relationships. Well, it's like me, y'all ostracizing me. They would want me gone because I would make their life a living hell, especially her broke. I would have did like how Jessica did Christmas in that letter comp, saw that red before she hop to spot one and snatched that shit and got there first. Y'all remember when Jessica did that to Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
But
what I
you
was.
know what? You know what, Lance? Just to end it off.
Get ready, Pooch. You're about to get served up a big old plate of blindside butter beans. Get ready, Pooch.
With that
You're
being
about
said,
You know what I hate though? I hate that this is
Blindside
gonna live with us forever. This is gonna be a Big Brother meme forever. We're never gonna get rid of this lady.
Blindside butter beans.
I think she's giving Raven.
I just need to know what production
rack of
members telling her,
ribs.
like, hey, yo,
Like-
here's
like-
another food. Say this.
Julie was like, baby, a rack of ribs. I look like a rack of ribs.
I'd be offended. I would be
Accurate.
offended, by the way.
Rack of ribs.
I do
Is this
not.
going to be the new thing with every person with a southern accent has to talk like this? Like
I guess so.
Okay,
how they brought.
I'm gonna go apply next season, and I'm gonna just be a blindside butter bean.
Listen, this is just like when they brought every
James?
person from Texas A&M every
Yeah,
season,
that's
you
right.
know. All right. The lower we get on here, I'm just like, wow, it's going to get rock bottom.
I think some people will move up from me.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
a few in
it's
mind.
getting
I-
there.
I just wanted to confirm real quick that they did officially nominate Alyssa and Indy.
Mhm.
It happened when we started the show.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't
with that
looked
being
at it
said,
now.
I mean, Alyssa, not
I'm gonna go
no,
last.
not
I'm gonna let y'all say
blindsided.
y'all's piece.
She got blindsided. Her quote unquote closest ally, in her opinion, Kyle, does not want to work with her.
Or date her.
Jasmine, yeah, and like Pals Pack is no more. Honestly, it's just like the girls, and even that is no more. Like Taylor isn't a part of that. I don't know how much they trust Brittany. She's been doing a good acting job a little bit. I think Indy's kind of like bringing herself in that collective now, but like, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, so Alyssa's there. I personally, I'm inclined to drop her to F. She's not really in the know of what's going on, and she's not really doing any favors for her game. The fact that Kyle is so uncomfortable to the point where he does not want to be anywhere around you, he wants you out the game. That's not good, you know. So you know, but what are you gonna do? How do you guys
Yeah,
feel?
I think the thing with her is that they didn't show this on the show, but she accidentally slipped up and said something that Nicole had said in front of Indy. It's complicated to explain, but now everybody this is why Nicole had a blow up, and now everybody just calls her like Big Mouth. They think she has big mouth. No one trusts her. She has no clue what's going on in the game whatsoever. She's more concerned about crying about Kyle. She was in Turner's HOH room and was like, I just have anxiety because Kyle's not talking to me. It had nothing to do with the game or Ameerah going up on the block. That's all she cared about. She doesn't have a mind for this, even though she is supposedly a super fan. She's not realizing what's going on around her. She's believing what Kyle is telling her. Now she's up on the block with one of Kyle's best friends in the house. Like, obviously Kyle's in on what's going on here. I don't know what her reaction is. Obviously we're recording and I'm not watching feeds right now, but I think yeah, she's got to go to F. She just has no clue. Go on The Bachelor.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Are You the One is getting rehashed, and, they might need reality stars, X on the Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't the show for her.
Nope.
Like, I feel like she's one of those, like, oh, yeah, I'm a fan, but she only watched Alyssa's season from Sarasota, like, last season. So, like, that's why she was so gung-ho to be anti-Miss Taylor. Like, for me, Alyssa just really haven't, like she's really letting this like fake showmance or wannabe showmance like cloud her judgment. And let's be clear, now that we know noms, Indy and Alyssa stay on the block, we know who's going home.
Yep.
It's Alyssa. So that explains her game in a social strategic standpoint, that she don't have enough clout with people to ensure her safety. Like, if the nominations stay the same, Kyle has been wanting her out anyway. He's going to push for his boys and his leftovers to vote out her. People still love Indy, even though she's not a part of like the leftovers. Like, people still stomach her to an extent, because some of the stuff she already done said this week is driving me up the wall, and I like Indy. But yeah, I think Alyssa needs to go to F. I don't know where she's going to end up in F once we finish. She's definitely above Nicole, and I think we should just put her above Daniel for now and just let the
I
rest
agree.
go down and see where she
Yep.
goes. What you think,
I
Josi?
agree.
Let's get into
Uh-oh.
it. Alyssa is a weird person. It's getting weird. On a personal standpoint, people's boundaries should be respected. As she would want a man to respect her boundaries, I think she should respect Kyle's boundaries. And he has clearly, I'm telling y'all, I've watched this man several times deny her advances outside of the house. Maybe, that maybe is not a yes. A maybe is not consentful. And she has done everything in her power to disrespect his boundaries. And it's so frustrating to watch and it's uncomfortable to watch because at the end of the day, I don't think this is getting as much attention as it should be.
Mhm.
But if the roles were reversed, we would be people would be up in arms about this situation. And I think it's very frustrating that Kyle has to go through it. By no means am I Kyle Stan, whatever. No, but I'm a human being and I know basic respect and having decorum. And Alyssa, those are two things that she does not have, even though she claims to like someone. If you like someone, you respect them. And if you respect them, you respect boundaries and consent. So that's that on the personal stuff. Game wise, she is horrendous. I'm tired of hearing these so-called super fans come in and just play amok. I'm sorry. There's no way that a white man standing in front of me that I find attractive is all I'm going to need to then tell him about every single thing about my game and every alliance I'm in. Literally, I tweeted it because we watched this man in the shower just look at her. And she was like, by the way, I'm in this alliance, this is how it would happen, blah, 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 blah. And then all he had to do there is smile and dry himself. Crazy. How is that happening? How are you having a game conversation with someone and giving all the information out and not taking any information in? That's crazy. Stop speaking, close your mouth, and listen. If he's not giving you anything in response, that should be alarming to you. That is alarming to any super fan. I haven't met every super fan in the world, but I know that super fans have common sense. It's just crazy to me how she just allowed for her to tell him every single ounce of her game and lay it out for him so that he can create an alliance that literally is going against her. And she is probably one of the people going home. If they don't backdoor Nicole, it's her. So terrible. How can you tank your game like that just because you had a glass of wine once? Girl, get it together. If this is how it's gonna be, don't take alcohol, fake drink it or something. Pull Ameerah and drink it that drinking night. If the girls I get it. So it's just weird. It's just weird.
Honestly, we need I really think Silent Podcast needs to have like a segment called Josie Ann's Rants because baby, that's what I've been gone so long that I've been missing it so much. Josie Ann's rants are iconic. And
listen, that's why you're going just so damn messy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step in on one of those podcasts because baby, these rants be giving me the life I've been needing. That's why I miss y'all so much. I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah, like overall, like even the slipping up in front of Indy. Oh God, that was brutal. Like, girl, there's people say that you have to listen 2 times more than you speak. And clearly she ain't get the memo. It's embarrassing, love. It's F for me. She can go. Yeah. I don't see her game doing any well. Yeah, right. yeah, Joseph. You see the vision.
Honestly,
and we see each other.
She definitely was in their like holding pattern for Love Island.
Yeah. Well, we knew Christian from last season was supposed to be on Love Island, and they put him on. They do it.
And Holly was for 21.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so
all right. So yeah, Alyssa right now top of F. Not really sure if she's going to stay there. We'll see for now. All right, so let's get to the original F tiers. We got a whole lot of people to get through, but let's start with Daniel. I mean, Daniel right above Nicole. I mean, does anyone have any objections? Right,
this is another two I wish we could just stack on top of each other because this man, like, I feel heated just seeing his face. Like, I feel like fire in me he just makes me sick. Actually, he's disgusting.
Yeah, he's bad, man.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I can't wait till he gets his next. Like, I need some Big Brother fans to like find out where his like next Vegas gig is Elvis Presley, and I need them to come with like Taylor t-shirts or Lay's t-shirts because and like storm the show. Like give like those runways where like those like PETA like comes and like trashes it,
Yes.
and they have to like
And they
pull
throw
it
blood
away.
on you.
I need them to throw like lays on him. Like I really cannot stomach him right now. Like it was so hard watching that moment. And I'm sorry, like too many people's in that house quiet. I know people like I gotta protect my game. But I'm like, boy,
Idiot.
first
No.
of all, you talking to that woman wild. Like, don't fucking talk
This
to
is
me.
why
Like,
this is why Paloma. You're the reason Paloma went
like,
home.
I cannot wait till he get out the house and they like read him for filth. And honestly, he might not ever get a Vegas gig for a very long time. So he better
I hope not.
enjoy that mullet or enjoy whatever you call that. Because him and Nicole, they got the same hairstyle. They the same person. Tomato, 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 like Valencia say. And I'm throwing lays at his ass. Goodbye.
Yeah, he reminds me of like a. I think he thrives in the Big Brother 21 era. Like
Yeah.
he is the type of player to do good in 21 and 19, where like you can thrive being a bad person. But, like this is not that time anymore, man. Like that is over with. I'm like so over how like freaking like cockroachy this guy is. I don't even know if he understands what his plan is in the game. It seems like he's only talking game in Nicole, and I think he still thinks there's a bros thing. But it's like, bro, you're aware. Here's a bad thing. Let's throw all that out the window. Let's throw the Taylor situation out the window. He was told about Paloma's pack, and then he still
doesn't even
chooses
care.
to ignore it. But he still has like a hate boner for like Taylor. Like it's very weird. Like strategically, it doesn't even make sense. You're aware that this alliance exists, but you're deciding to ignore it. You know who he reminds of? Sam Smith from Big Brother 21. There you go. Like you're willing to be like the sidekick to this majority alliance at the time, at least, and you're willing to like not be in the in crowd, but you'll just hop on the bandwagon and hate on the bottom people. Kimmy, there you go, Taylor. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're the same player. So I don't care for Daniel. I was considering, this is the person I was considering putting under Nicole, but obviously the guy still sees some sort of like importance in him because they said that he's not going up no matter what, according to Monty. So Nicole's definitely bottom, but he's right behind her. So I can't stand him.
They're gonna say for a Taylor HOH that they want her to do the dirty work, and I'm fine with that. But because they, at the end of the day, these people still playing their own games, and they don't want to piss off people that's possibly going to be in the jury. Taylor, he already hates Taylor, would never vote Taylor. She's an in. Why not allow Taylor to be one of those people that does the dirty work? Because I watched a feed where they kind of was saying that like they would love for a Taylor. They kind of wanted Taylor to possibly win this week, so Taylor could have been the one to do the dirty work. Because I don't think Monty even wants to get Nicole out per se under his move, but he's okay to do it because he has his people.
It's also pre-jury. I mean, you shouldn't care who you're taking out this time, you know?
Right.
I had to reapply my lip gloss because I wanted to get into him just a little.
Josie Ann's like
I'm gonna talk about the Taylor thing, and I'm just gonna talk about that. First of all, I find it really funny that Daniel here clearly bucks up to a woman like that. It's getting weird. She's coming in unsuspecting, and this is the moment you want to pounce on her. You don't even want to discuss the issue. You don't want to let it rise. You can have a conversation with someone. I don't like the way you just did that. No, you want to go straight to 100 because she's a woman and she's unsuspecting. Let's be real. Daniel came into this preseason situation. I'm going to go after men, blah, blah, blah. Let's be real. He has never been a part of the in crowd with whatever men, and I think he was against it from the jump. And then the moment he got HOH, the men did exactly what men do every season. Oh my God, you're a bro. You're my guy. You're part of the bros. Da, da, da. And that reached an insecurity that he has not been able to scratch in a very long time. And so he thought, maybe, just maybe, this one time in my life, I'll be a part of the bros. I'm going to be in with the guys. And so he then went and did all this cackety cack, all this nonsense, and then received next week realizing, they played me. Let me pretend like I'm going after the guys all over again. But at the end of the day, anytime these guys were going to come up to him and scratch that itch of insecurity that it stems from childhood or something, I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but it's just like he doesn't have a backbone. And then the one time he wants to buck up is to buck up to a woman and doing all this cackety cat for no reason, because he's sitting there oh, Nicole is overreacting. You don't even hear things from her side, and you just wanted an excuse to start yelling at Taylor. And you thought you ate. You didn't eat. The plate was empty. In fact, the plate is in the
It had
trash
lays on
where it
it. It had
belongs.
lays on it.
Shut
It had
up.
lays
Don't
on
talk
it.
to women that way. Don't ever talk to women that way. He went and he had a conversation with Taylor. And I don't know if you guys saw this conversation. I definitely tuned in because I was ready.
I did.
No, in no place does he actually realize that he shouldn't have spoken to her in that way. He goes, well, I'm going to protect the people I love. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you can protect the people you love, but you can talk to people with respect. And that is something he does not give Taylor. And that if he treats Taylor that way, he must treat other people that way. Because there's no way that Taylor just brings it out of him like he likes to claim. That's who you are. Bae Brother shows you who you are. It's a reflection of who you are. And so for you to get on the house and behave this way and act like, oh, it's Taylor, no, it's you, boo. And you need to get out of the house as soon as possible and check yourself. Period.
No, Taylor,
Josie
away. You know, you got Paloma out the house. You know, I don't respect you. You should. Don't talk to me whatsoever.
Don't fucking.
And then this is his apology. Oh, you know, I know we had our differences. You know, we had a whole situation.
I'm missing
but,
all the memos tonight. Damn.
I'm sorry. I don't like him. So you know.
Listen, what I think about this guy is that the way, not only Taylor, but the way he talks about the women in the house is absolutely
gross,
disgusting. He was talking about how Indy's not hot and he's jealous of Alyssa because she is hot.
Yeah,
he was saying he would make out with Ameerah. He's disgusting. I mean, we know that he probably got some disgusting thing going on with Paloma in his mind, and we saw some gross stuff about him, inappropriate stuff about him on the internet from one of his exes, which I'm not going to go into alleged whatever, but it's out there. And I just have you looked in the mirror? I'm just wondering. You're a grown-ass 35-year-old man who's a fucking Elvis impersonator. You're disgusting.
Why?
I'm waiting
He'll
to
never work in this town again.
No, and I'm waiting to scroll through Twitter. I'm waiting to scroll through Twitter once he's out of this house and see Daniel Durston is convicted of some fucking hate crime or whatever, or some crime against women. That's what I think is going to happen to him when he's out of the house.
It's the pompadour for me. The pompadour,
Disgusting.
him and Nicole have, like, they're meant for each other.
I can see him pulling a Todrick and going ghost after the season.
No, he got a publicist. He got a publicist. So
he was saying on the feed, someone told me, I didn't see it myself, he was saying on the feeds that he almost got chosen to play Elvis in the movie, the biopic that's out right now in movie theaters. What?
Yeah.
You would not be on Big Brother, babes.
I will say this very quickly. So TMZ released an article about Daniel and his weird ass fucking behavior. Thank you, TMZ.
Thank you, TMZ.
We got Daniel's publicist in the comments. I was just hired to be Daniel's publicist. Can you please take this down? Blah, blah, blah. Now the tweets are just defending Daniel. I don't know if it's real or fake or whatnot. I kind of believe it because I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, at the end of the day, his family's trying to keep his career going. Like, they live off of him being an impersonator. And if him being on Big Brother fucks up his career, they could be down in the dumps.
He's connected to celebrities. Like, I wouldn't put it past him. I saw a tweet of of Daniel singing a Christmas song. Okay, but before it was Jude Demorris from Star, and I said, "There's no way that's her."
He's done.
On the video, saw that he was connected to so many child stars. Red flags immediately popped in my head. So I wouldn't put it past him if he got a publicist and is they're doing damage control. But he's a disgusting, vile human being. Next.
But
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Same level, babes.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Okay, Turner.
Timmy Turner. Timmy Turner for me. I think he's moving up to at least C for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, his speech, whether it was production, field, and his emotion, he obviously have a heart, even though his sister think he doesn't. Maybe production need to tell him to pull him in there and talk to him about his sister, so that when he get out the house, they could fix that relationship. Sorry. but what he did for Taylor, what he did during that meeting, really gave me everything I needed, and it gave me another memeable moment of my girl. So I'm just living. I love his trajectory and how him having conversation with people caused him to really think about his placement in the game. I'm always someone like, I might not have been on the show, but I played these live reality games. And for me, one thing I can vouch is I learn my placement with people very early and see where I fall on their totem pole. And Turner realized, like, your boy Pooch went out. Like, at the end of the day, you're probably somewhere out. Once Taylor's gone, they have to find someone new, and it's probably you. So kudos to him for even being able to pull together whatever, and even get two people that he nominated in his alliance, and for them to agree to it. To me, he is at least C. I want to hear y'all thoughts so we can find a commonality for Timmy Turner.
I personally, I mean, I'm gonna put him C, but like this close to putting him in B, and like if I think he needs a lot of very, very lucky events to happen. But if like the dominoes fell in the right order, like I will put him up there for potential. Like he could win, but like it's a very specific road that I don't think will happen, and like it's also very early. So like I'm not gonna live in the moment too much. I mean, he had a good blind side. Let's just keep it moving. But he's definitely like graduated from like F tier at that. So like I'll give him either. I'll give him a C, but I'm also not off B. How do you guys feel?
I feel about him the way you guys felt about Michael. I think it's too early. Give him one more week, see how he does.
Yeah.
He seems like the type of person who would maybe go out in a double or something to me, like just a quick eviction. Things just don't line up in his way. But I think he is playing. I'm very happy. I loved his veto speech. I'm happy that they showed it. Whatever the case is and however he came to this conclusion, I'm glad that he did, whether it was production or whether he realized what was going on after hearing all of the talk. But he was complaining last week, too, about people using his HOH room without him being in it and all the horrible things
that
they
was
were saying
annoying.
about Taylor. It's like every time you saw the HOH room on the show, he wasn't
Yeah,
there.
that
It's like,
bothered
what?
me.
Get out of the
That
room.
bothered me.
Yeah, it's just like these people had no respect for him, and I think he finally realized, like, I got to change things up a little bit, and this group will accept me. We do also hear about, like, his upbringing and how he's been bullied, and I mean, maybe you're right, Lance. I think he needs to talk to his sister when he gets out of the house, because she was posting some... Who knows who's telling the truth and who's not? I don't know.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, Mr. Beast. What went on there? I don't know. But listen, I think Turner is doing the right thing. I think he actually has a good relation. He has a close relationship with Alyssa, which I think could help him if she stays. I think he also is like good with Daniel. He's good with Terrence. So he has connections outside of the leftovers too. I mean, Jasmine obviously is not here for him. She was complaining about having to sleep next to him and talking about how she hates him. But everybody else in the house, I think, like feels decent with Turner, even though he just pulled off this huge blindside. I think he has a good trajectory ahead if he can stay the course, but we'll see if he can.
Well, you know what? That just actually made me think D, only because I don't think he actually has like any kind of like say in that Big Guys Alliance at that or the leftovers. I don't know if he would actually been invited to the leftovers hadn't he not been the HOH. Yeah, I'm gonna.
He's also in the pound, right? He's in the pound, which is like the core 4 of the leftovers, so that could help him too if that's real.
Yeah.
Honestly, Isaiah, you touched on a point I really wanted to talk about with Turner. I think he has no control. I think in Big Brother, you don't have to be in the forefront to have control, but he is not in the forefront or in the back front with control whatsoever. I think he was quite lucky. I said it last week. He got a Gino HOH week, which means the target is there. You know, you can do something smart for your game, or you can do what the house wants. Either way, you should be good. That's what I think Turner's week was, which was luck-based, you know? With everything leading up to this point. And I do think that I'm very curious to see would he have been invited to the leftovers had he not been HOH. That being said, this is a really good week for Turner, actually. He got a target out. He pulled a blind side. This is most his resume. If people will let him take credit for it is another story, but it's a move on there because he was the face of the week. He was HOH. I don't think he really is in the best spot in terms of general perception in the house, in terms of like having allies. I think he's ahead of some people for sure, but I don't think he's the forefront, and I don't see him taking decisions anytime soon. Is he gonna flip on the leftovers? I don't think so. So I think he's gonna be the perfect victim of another blindside if it happens.
All right. I mean, do we feel like we should raise Turner up one, or should we keep him in F?
I mean, I would put him above Jasmine.
I'm putting him above Jasmine because he has, I think, while Jasmine has control, she's
So-
not on a winning team.
So we really just moving her up just to D.
I'm fine
Okay.
putting him in C. I think C is a good spot.
Just
I
not
don't mind
D.
putting him in
I just-
C.
I just don't think he needs to be in B. And I kind of agree with Katie
Yeah.
saying one more week.
Yeah.
But I think he at
So we
least
can
is
do
C.
low C. Low C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I
he's
think
in
Lucy is
better
good for
a
him.
better position than Jasmine for sure, and
He's
he's
the
gonna
power
be
structure of the house.
leading,
For sure.
leading
Yeah.
in the leading alliance.
And we kind of know
Yeah, I
he's not
agree.
going nowhere this week either. Like, based
Yeah.
on Monty's win.
No one's gonna waste an HOH on Jasmine, which means no one's gonna put Turner up. Like,
That's the other thing. It's like if she's good, then he's pretty good. And even if he goes on the
He's
block,
good.
they're not voting him out unless it's like intentional. So I think he's
Yeah.
good. I think C probably makes sense for him.
All right. So next we got Indy. If there is any player in this house that just has no idea what's going on,
She watched Big Brother Brazil. She watched drama Big Brother Brazil. She doesn't
Wow.
watch US.
I love how
Like,
she
it's
talks about
Indy.
wanting to punch people in the face all the time. It's hilarious.
She's wild.
Throwing
Throw
soup?
at people. What are we doing?
But like,
it's getting
The
Because
only
that's the
thing
kind of
that-
crazy stuff they do on Big Brother Brazil.
Yeah.
She's ready for that shit. She came on this thinking it was about to be that, and it's not. That's why we done seen her transition so much back and forth. Like the stuff she said about Taylor, and like just a couple of hours ago, I was like, girl, I didn't. I thought Indy was the one protecting the girls, but she's also a part of that. I guess she just going through her motions too. She feel played. I don't freaking know. Like, I don't know. It's just I don't know what Taylor is doing to these girls that make them so mad. Like, what they wanted them to get a black woman that was like ugly, a booger wolf or something. Like, Taylor is confident. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. So Indy has definitely dropped on my stock as in just personality, because I was like, she was the one always vouching for, y'all doing a little too much. Y'all doing a little too much. And now she has one of the biggest headlines this week with anti-Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, even outside of the Taylor storyline, strategically, like outside of the girls alliance that got formed like week 1, like
There's nothing.
she hasn't had. I haven't seen her talk game with a single
Nothing.
soul.
She's in
since
post pack, right?
No,
I think
I don't
she
think she's
is.
in there.
she's
I
in
don't
old
know.
school. She's in old school, but she's not in post pack.
She's not.
Yeah,
in
she ain't paused back. Like she is so out of the loop. It's like ridiculous, and like I'm shocked. Like I didn't think she kind of belonged to us. I thought she was like in the middle, but I mean, granted, she got blindsided. So like I don't blame her to like take a stance now. But I don't think she has a clue of what her next move is, or at at all. I think she's just there. Like is that a bad read or?
No, I mean the girls don't even really like her.
Yeah.
They throw her
Exactly.
name out all the time. I mean, she
Some of
doesn't
them thought
really
it
have
was
a
her.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just,
So
yeah, I don't know. She also like
She
is
has no
really
social
mad at
capital.
Brittany, and I don't really know why she's so mad at Brittany. I guess because she she voted to take Ameerah out, and she's in girls, but she like not being very nice to Brittany last night. Brittany was upset, saying she wouldn't even talk to her. So it's just, yeah, it's weird. If she weren't next to Alyssa this week, and the guys didn't want Alyssa out, she would be. If they stay on the block, she would be going under any other circumstance.
she's also on the block. That's also another point.
I'm gonna just say for her, she has no social capital, so she automatically is in this category of player that is disposable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that means that
no
people
shade.
will keep her as long as they want to until it's ready to hit the door. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
it's
do
like-
this in the US, but in Canada, once we're done with furniture, we throw it outside and we wait for the garbage people to pick it up. That's how we work here.
Yeah.
So that's
But, like-
exactly the treatment she's getting.
And that's no shade. She's going to be someone, like when those double evictions are, if US want to do a triple, it's one of those weeks where it's like, hey, to keep our people here, to save bet,
Yeah.
we could just get rid of an indie.
Yeah.
Like, it's an easy, no blood, like, no one's going to be that upset. She, like I say, no social capital. So, like, for me, like, you're literally not even giving people the opportunity to want to formulate something more with you. Like you still got that Big Brother Brazil mindset, and baby girl, like maybe you should have just used your citizenship and went apply for Brazil.
Yeah,
I think
just
she's
like
also angry at Monty right now. It looks like I'm just reading some updates. She's
Yeah,
not happy that she's on the block.
Get
so.
over
like-
it. You're not going
like the
home.
fact that Terrence has more social capital now.
Barely.
than
Than
Indy.
Indy.
He has something
it's
though.
pretty bad.
Like the fact that he played along with that whole plan last round was something. But
But
I
at
mean,
the
we'll get
beginning
to
of the
him in a
week,
second.
he was okay with going home.
Listen,
So
we'll get to him in a
Aaron-
second. But in terms of Indy, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but just her game alone, like I'm inclined to put her above. Do I really want to put her above Daniel?
I mean, I
I
think that's how,
Daniel.
I think that's how it's gonna line up. I think
Daniel might
I
be
think
better
regardless,
than her.
because let's be real.
Oh, Daniel.
Um,
I'm sorry. I thought you meant Joseph. And I was like, what? I'm sorry.
no, I think that's how it's gonna line up because
Yes,
based on
I
who we
think
got
that's
left,
right.
we got Joseph, Monty, Terrence, Brittany. It might be a fight with Indy and Terrence for me, but all those other people move up above Indy, so it's gonna end up that way
Yeah.
anyway.
I think so.
I
Yeah,
think
I think
Indy
so.
is in front of Daniel just because she's
Yes.
disposable and not a target. I would rather be disposable than a target, because if you're a target, people are really going against the
Yeah.
grain to get
Mhm.
out. Versus
Mhm.
Indy is someone who's
She's
like,
just there.
oh, she's there, so we can get out of her.
Definitely
But the
making
thing is
jury.
that
She's gonna be
she
like a
can
first,
wake up.
second, third jury member. Yeah.
She can wake up one day and like have a sense of game. I'm not saying that will happen, but it could happen. It's the big brother,
Mhm.
expect the unexpected. So
Yeah.
she could still move and navigate the game better than Daniel, who already has a target and is
Or
yelling
she
at
could just
women
throw,
and being
or she could
weird.
just throw soup on people
That's
like
fair.
Big
That's
Brother
fair.
Brazil.
Loser. They're both losers at the end of the
That's so
day.
shady.
But
All right, cool. No, I agree. Y'all convinced
Yeah,
me.
I think that's a good
I mean,
spot.
it's F tier. I don't give a damn. All right, so we got 4 people left. All right,
Moving
so
on up to
Monty.
the top.
No,
Not
we
the top.
skipped Joseph.
Oh,
Joseph.
sorry.
Joseph. Yeah.
Ain't no
Invincible
way
just
he's
like
standing
yourself,
out.
25.
you know?
Joseph
I think-
25.
Joseph 25.
Joseph 25. I think Joseph moves up to, if not before Turner, right behind him.
Behind.
Joseph got a
I
lot
put
of
him
like.
way above Turner.
I'm putting him
Yeah, that's-
above Turner.
That's what I'm
Right
saying.
above.
That's what I'm
There we
saying.
go.
I think that's the way to go. Like for me, Joseph has way like when they do strike and leftovers, it's not gonna. Joseph is not the first star. He's so sweet. People love him. Like they are not gonna be worried. Like kind of how y'all think that's how it's gonna be with Michael. Like people not gonna go for him. I don't think Joseph is gonna be the initial thought when it's time for
Same.
other sides to strike. That's just me.
The bad
He's
thing
in a
about
good
him is that
spot.
he's partnered with Monty, so it's like 2 strong guys that could go up on the block
True.
together.
We got
But
Terrence
But now they
Monty-
have Terrence in their group,
But
so
Monty
Terrence
is
could be
still
the
gonna be
easy.
the vote out. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true.
I want to say something. You know, they say somewhere in some biology, anatomy, whatever book, that the brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25. And let me just say, Joseph is my case study, because how the heck did he just wake up at the age of 25 and tap into the common sense?
A new man.
I have been yelling about this man being not tapped into the common sense, not into the game. Like I needed him to wake up. I was like, how are you going to be an alternate and give us dry sandpaper?
I mean,
Esque
Claire
energy.
gave us
I
that for a
can't.
good while.
No,
I mean, don't y'all remember
I'm
we
not going to say too
said-
much about Claire. I'm not going to say
we
too much about
definitely
Claire.
said. I mean, it's like I said, too early to even like do comparisons like this. But like, I was like, he
Right.
gives me like Josh from BB Can upside, where it's like Josh wasn't doing crap like the first half of the game, and then he just woke up out of nowhere and started playing. You
He
know,
has
like
Kaser
You know-
energy to me, and
Yeah.
I love that about him.
Yeah.
I'm
Love
obsessed
Kaser.
with Joseph.
We love
I just
Kaser
wanna-
here.
I'm obsessed. He's my new fave
Yeah.
outside of Taylor.
So thank you, Joseph, for being my case study on how the brain fully develops at 25. Because wow, what a week for him! I think
Not
honestly,
25.
I really think that he tapped into the game and did it beautifully. I think between all of the leftovers, Joseph is the only one, in my opinion, that covers his bases so well
Yes.
and still maintains these one-on-one relationships so well. It's incredible the way he'll go from room to room to room. Obviously, Nicole's up in arms, but Nicole's weird, so it's whatever. But he is doing it so well. This is the type of social game that I like to see, and I liked it to be delivered. And he is doing it for me. Whereas, you know, people are giving Kyle a lot of credit here, and I think Joseph is also receiving credit, but not as much as I would like personally, because you know, Kyle can talk here and say, well, I created this, but you need someone beside you, you know, navigating it. And it's not Monty, it's Joseph. Like,
Yeah,
let's
it's
be
Joseph.
real. He did the damn thing. Now, also, he has a soft spot in my heart because the way he's treating Taylor.
Ugh.
But
look at that combined
that's
message.
besides the point. That's besides the point. I'm not ranking them on how I like them. I'm ranking them on gameplay. And so, you know, I think we need to give him credit where credit is due. I actually could see him going higher than C, What that's just me. I think he could be B. I think he could be B.
I think we have to see again how this week goes for him and
Yeah,
how
this
he
is a
plays.
transitional week for a lot of
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
This it's like almost like the game just really started this week. The rest was just like mess,
Absolutely.
and now it's like the game finally started. They're playing, and to me, Joseph, the work that Joseph put in, talking to Jasmine downstairs when the leftovers were meeting, babysitting her, walking to the bathroom with her. I mean, if you had the
So-
quad cam on and you were watching, it's just like he's following Jasmine to the bathroom. He's like walking back with her, waiting until it's safe. He babysat Ameerah all week since she was put up on the block. It was just the two of them sitting. He was not in an alliance.
He was
with her.
cuddling with her.
Yes, making her feel safe. She was like, "Oh, I've got Joseph. I've got Joseph." He knew.
Joseph definitely won't do anything to me.
Talk
Ugh.
about acting. He is the actor. More than Kyle, he's the actor. I love everything that he's doing. He's being so sweet to Taylor, making sure that she feels heard and part of this and not just as like a random number. Like she's really an important part, a core part of this alliance. I love everything that he's doing.
So if we was the academy, we would. So your
No, I
vote, Katie,
think-
would go to Joseph.
Yeah, my vote
I
would go to
think
Joseph. Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. They all win Oscars. To me, they all win Oscars in different categories. To me, Joseph wins Best Supporting Actor because the way he Katie, you
I
said
thought
it.
that
The
was
way
Brittany.
because the way he navigated setting up the leftovers and saying, you know what, I don't have to be in the forefront. Let me babysit everyone is crazy to me.
He
It's
knew that they
crazy to me.
knew it would be suspect because they were already suspicious about him talking to Taylor earlier in the day. And he was like, I can't be here. I'll stay downstairs with everybody. I mean, he knows it's like you said, Josie, he woke up and his frontal lobe was formed. He was a new man.
Common sense.
And
The
I
common
love it.
sense
I love everything we're
into-
getting.
It's,
I just love his energy, his hype. Like I'm loving
and
him.
he's
right now.
actually kind, which is
He is.
really
He's
refreshing
so
with what's
kind.
going
He's
on
so
with this
kind.
cast. But overall, at the end of the day, I think
Jailer.
what I'm sad about is how under edited he was in these last two episodes. I was expecting a lot more Joseph. Obviously, production is always going to prioritize a white man, so I'm not
Jailer.
surprised. But I really, this man put in a lot of work for the leftovers, and I think it's underappreciated. I think Monty's getting a lot more credit than Joseph, which is weird to me. But yeah, you guys can keep him in C, but I will be advocating for him.
We'll see this week, babes.
You'll
It's
see.
his boy's HOH. If he could control his boy HOH, he could have me, baby.
What I loved what he did last night is that he brought Taylor aside and was like, "Are you comfortable?" Like he was really talking to her about like, "Are you comfortable going on the box so we can get out Nicole?" Like he really was listening to her and making her feel like she's part of the alliance, which I think she really needs right now because she still feels probably like she's on shaky ground because it's one good week after 3 really bad weeks for her. Like things could flip right back to what they were. So I really like the work that
Yeah,
he's putting
and
in
that's
with
what
everybody.
scares me. I'm like, dang, until they have like for me one more round of numbers, I wouldn't want her to touch the block. No shade. That's just me. Shit
But
happens.
there you go. Joseph. Okay. Monty. Oh, not the glasses coming on. All right, Monty. Monty. His game is so random. They're honestly so there was incentive to turn on Pal's Pack because I mean Ameerah did the flip and you could tell he didn't really want to do it. I actually, as much as we give credit to Kyle and Joseph, I think Monty actually played a pretty big part with all that as well. I think those three specifically really were like kind of like calling the shots when it came to that group. So I feel inclined to move Monty up. He's still getting targeted, but luckily for him, the people targeting him are no longer in the majority. So okay, he can play mascot for the leftovers, but at the end of the day, it's like if you don't win HOH, who cares at that point? So I think he holds some weight within the decision making with the group. I feel like outside of even though Michael is there, I think like the chain of command of like who calls what, it goes like Kyle, and then I think Monty is like literally right under that personally. I don't know if I'm wrong. You guys been watching feeds more than me, but like I see Monty in like a commanding spot. I don't know if I will put him over Joseph yet because like I said, people are targeting Monty now. Some people are targeting Joseph, but people are really targeting Monty. So I will put him right in the middle of him and Turner, but he's kind of he's showing me upside. He's not completely out of the chances of winning just yet. I think he actually has a okay shot, but we'll see. How you guys feel about Monty?
I think he definitely should be in between Joseph and Turner. I think he has a big target on him. I think a lot of the Ameerah, Nicole, and Monty dynamic, somewhat Taylor-ish dynamic between all of them, really just put a target on his back with those people. Obviously, he mend fences with Taylor, so it's fine. But I just feel like he's been doing every time he speaks, a lot of the time he's doing himself a disservice. He's one of those people I think should listen more, talk less. And he's, I kind of wish he would do that. Sometimes it's okay to not speak. It's okay to not be the leader. It's okay to not lead the pack. And that's why I think makes a great player is knowing when to go in full force and when to like tap out and just take the passenger seat. And I feel like that's something Monty's going to struggle with a lot. I feel like he needs to feel like he's in church. I feel like, not to say that he calls himself an alpha male, but it's very that energy of like needing to always be, you know what I mean? So I think he puts a target on himself in that way. And obviously, having a target on your back is not good. I think, he's partnered up with Joseph. So those two, if one of these other people on the other side put those two on the block, well, now he's there with Terrence. But, people are going to try to get Monty out of the three of them, which I think is likely. I think it'll be the topic of the house whenever they hit the block, if they do. So overall, yeah, I think he did a great job with the Leftovers Alliance, but I think people blame him more with the fallout of Ameerah's vote. So, he gives and takes in terms of like how well he's doing in this game, which is why I think he's beside Turner and Joseph.
Yeah, I think optically for Monty, this was probably the worst. Like, he came out of this whole flip the worst optics wise because he was so deep in post pack that it's like it's hitting him the most, I think, out of everybody, that he was a vote to evict Ameerah when Ameerah saying in her exit press that they had a final two. I don't know if other people knew that they had a final two.
I mean, in reality, they were coming for his neck anyway, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, if optically for people in the house, if they knew that they were that close and he flipped on her, like, why would he not flip on anybody else? So I just think, I don't know. I think, Nicole she's obviously hopefully going this week, but she's going to push the Monty narrative. I just don't feel like, I also don't know how deep in to to the leftovers that he is, because he just feels like, something about him just feels very surface level. Like, I don't feel any like deep connection with him and anybody else when I'm watching him talk to people. I don't know if obviously he really did not like Taylor a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know how that just flips on its head. And now you're like, oh no, I actually like Taylor now. It's like, he was the one that was like so at the head of like a lot of the anti-Taylor conversation. I mean, I remember him in week one being in Daniel's room, dragging her through the mud. And now all of a sudden it's like, no, I really like her. I want to work with her. I don't know. It just feels, I'm nervous. It feels a little disingenuous to me. I feel like he would be the first one to like, feel like the people who aren't in the pound are the most disposable, and I don't know that that's great for him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like how you talk about optics. Like, for him to be a part of Flip and then be the HOH this week really is, it's just cutting the wound even deeper. Like, Indy, I don't think would have ever been like, kind of like how we see in the updates now, where like Indy's really mad at him and stuff like that. Like, I feel like he's just driving that wedge a little deeper so that when one of those girls win, or like a Jasmine, etc., Alyssa do win, if they survive through the week, they're shooting at Monty. Yep. And that's it's given that. So like, Monty's gonna have an uphill battle where he just hope that when they do, if the frenzy tinsy twist, whatever the fuck it's called, that they alliance have enough numbers to get Terrence out now that Terrence shows that. But for me, Monty is in a decent spot, but it's not a winning game spot right now. I'll accept the fact of putting it in between Joseph and Turner, but for me, he's going to have more of an uphill battle. This wasn't the week for him to win HOH, I think.
Yeah, I think Turner, I think Terrence choosing to be part of that crew saves Monty's life, because even with, I think regardless of how the numbers shake out, they should have the votes to keep
Bestie.
both Monty and Joseph, depending on who the HOH is. But I don't think they'd be up there if someone in the leftovers was HOH anyway. So feels like they should be okay, and Terrence would go. But even if not, it's Monty. It's not Joseph that's going.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that you say that you think Monty shouldn't have won this week. I really do think he does, because looking at who got a letter with what we saw, it was looking grim. It was looking grim with that Jasmine snatch first. I think Monty.
We had
Brittany up there.
We had Brittany and Michael.
Yeah, but like, let's like think of the odds. Like the fact that Jasmine was the first safe is a little concerning to me. The odds of this is not a physical comp. This is luck based. So let's think of the odds.
Well, we don't know what part 2 was, I guess, right?
Yeah, we don't know what part 2 is, which is let's stop these commercials. Anyways,
commercial in the show. It was commercial in the show, and then more commercials. That was crazy.
What was that? You know what? Television must be in a downward spiral if we have to do 3 commercials in a row like that. Brutal. But I think Monty should have won this HOH. I think Monty he's the person who got the most damage out of the leftovers, because Taylor don't owe nothing to nobody. Brittany, the girls already felt some type of way, whatever, like, cool. They're still going to need her. They're still going to want to, they think they can get into Michael's ear, control it a little bit. So obviously the rest of the boys are kind of in that hot water. Turner was HOH. He didn't cast the vote. So, he put 2 people up. The rest of the house voted. You know what I mean? So it's between those 3. So Monty obviously is going to get the worst of the sick, especially with the dynamics with Nicole and Ameerah, and how people felt. Like they were saying before eviction, if I leave, Monty's the reason why. If I leave, Monty's the reason why. So he needed this HOH, in my opinion, because this is now damage control. He can now go and try to navigate some things, better himself moving forward, because last week was kind of brutal for him if the other side won. So I don't agree with the fact that you think he shouldn't have won. We'll see.
Okay. In terms of Monty, I mean, how do we feel about his placement on this list? I feel like I don't feel like any of the leftovers should be in there.
Turner, maybe either between the 2.
I think he's between Turner, because he still has some ounce of control.
I think he's in between.
Yeah, I think he's in between.
I'm good with that.
At that point, the conversation is, do you prioritize like influence, or do you prioritize like positioning? So it's tricky. Like these 2, I mean, they're around the same level, like easily could go like if the wrong event happens. It's a lot of luck involved at that point.
I agree.
We got 3 people left. One of them is furniture, unfortunately, and that is Mr. Terrence. Terrence, what the hell were you thinking? Volunteering yourself to just go home the moment Turner gives you like you let Nicole sit there and just like willingly speak to people in front of you while you're in the room that you're going home, and you didn't do anything about it. And then the moment Turner gives you a glimmer of hope, or you all of a sudden have all this motivation to want to stay in the game because someone did the work for you. You didn't have to do a damn thing about it. Now you're deep into this. It seems like he's like the unofficial groupie of the leftovers this season. So like he's not in, but like he's protected, So
he's
like
the leftover of the leftovers. It's
he's a scraps,
I saw a great, I think it was on Twitter, comparison that he is Sam from Big Brother 20 to level 6. Like he's just a number. Yes. They're not protecting him, but he's a number for them. He'll vote with them, especially now that he's a festy bestie with the guys. Like he's going to be loyal to them because they all saved his life. Yeah. But all he's going to do is vote. He doesn't play the game.
Exactly. And that's literally why whenever Jasmine wins a HOH or Indy wins a HOH and put up the festy besties of Joseph, Monty, and Terrence, that they won't care about losing a veto because they'll just send Terrence out. He's fluff to them. Yeah. And it was so weird. But I see his logic with picking the guys. It's like, hey, the kind of competitions we had, the most powerful team, eyes-wise, visually, was Joseph and Monty. But I know, did y'all see Joseph's face when Terrence was picking? He was like, Like, why was he
Yeah.
so scared? I don't know. I guess
Dead
just
weight,
For a
man.
minute, I was
Dead
like, "Ooh, is
weight.
this a bad thing?" But I think I
Yeah.
sat for a minute and I did the math, and I was like, "Okay, I feel like we're split evenly down the middle if those two are on the block, or those three are on the block, and if those three are on the block, that means whoever put them up is not a leftover, so they should be fine, and Terrence
Exactly.
would go." But it seems like it'll probably work out for them having him.
Yeah,
on their
I
team.
think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think they almost have like a foolproof, especially until Festy Best is over, a foolproof way to
Yeah.
make it through. Because for me, if you look at all the pairs, I would honestly vouch for whoever's not in the leftovers that win HOH to actually put up that group.
Yeah.
No shade,
Yeah.
because every other group it could cause a little bit of convolution. So I don't know. Terrence's furniture for me, I even want to put him under Indy, but I don't know what y'all think.
I'm fine. At least Indy's playing some game. She's playing a
Yeah.
game. I don't know if she's
I mean,
playing
the
Big Brother.
difference
Terrence hasn't been
that
doing nothing.
if
y'all.
Terrence and Indy were on a block, I feel like Indy goes.
Indy's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's the
that,
only reason.
but so we judge every week based on like likability.
We
of
judge
going home, I
over a
guess.
lot of things.
No, 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 no,
Because if we're doing likability of going home, bitch, we could put him in S tier because he's not going anywhere. Jasmine, S tier, he's not going anywhere.
Oh,
Like,
man. Oh, man.
Well, let me step to the mic.
come on, Josie Ann's rant.
No. I'm clarifying things for you. What Josie, the Ann, make my decision on who's going where. There's a lot of things that come into factor. One of them being not likability, it's target level. This man is even more disposable than Indy, because Indy's running around telling people she want to hit people, throw soup in their face, blah blah blah. Now she's running around loose cannon, like she's going in the HOH room telling Monty, if you want to go after the guys and protect them, I'll do it for you. Why just doing a mess? Because if that goes out to the girls, it's gonna be worse. If the girls don't already like her, it's likability does play a contributing fact into target level. Trust me, if we were just doing it based on likability, this would be a whole other situation, but it's not, and it plays an important factor. However, speaking on Terrence's game, I think it was so dumb that he sat here and said, you know what, I'm ready to go. Why are people on the show who don't want to fight? Why are we casting people who don't want to be on the show?
Let's
stop that now. I'm over it. Let's start casting people who actually want to fight and play.
You saw how he got on the show, actually, right?
How?
He was supposed to be on Claim to Fame. He's Juice WRLD's
is that true, or did I don't believe anything that Spoiler King says, by the way.
No.
So stop sharing those tweets to me, Isaiah. I don't believe this man.
He said it on feeds.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But would that be like why they cast him? They didn't put it in a package. They didn't do nothing.
He was supposed to be on Claim to Fame, and he was just like
DF is also that same situation. Claim to Fame, famous, whatever that was. I forget who
also
connected to him.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
So you're saying that he was supposed to be on Claim to Fame?
Yeah,
is that a CBS show? Claim to Fame is CBS?
No,
I don't know.
ABC.
No, that's
I don't know.
What's it?
Babes.
ABC. Yeah.
So but back to my point.
Okay.
I think let's start casting people who want to actually be on the show. I'm tired of it. I hate people who just lie down and die without purpose. This man was willing to go out and just take it. Why are you on the show then? Do you not want the money? Do you not want the title? Why are you here? Let's get people who want to be here. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But what I will say is that he's in a better position in the house because, again, he will be used by the leftovers, rinsed. Like he will be, they are going to use him and throw him out, but they're not going to use Indy. And he's not that big of a target because he's disposable.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, if it wasn't for Turner talking to him and be like, you're not going home, it was so sad the times I would turn on the feeds and him allowing people to just let him, talk to him about what he's about to do when he get home.
To his face. To this man's face.
And Cool Calm Collected about it was like, yeah, it sucks, man. It's how the game goes. The game goes. Terrence, this is why we don't get a lot of older people in it anymore, because they think y'all all gonna be like that. And then to have an older black guy, come on, bro. Play the damn game. We need some more Jerrys out there who gonna curse Libra ass out.
Give me a Rennie. Yeah, give me a Rennie.
Jerry would get canceled in 2020.
Yes, Jerry would.
But he also was 80 freaking years old playing Big Brother.
Yeah. What about the Rennie though? Rennie would be great.
I will say, however, I think that regardless of if Turner doesn't tell him or does tell him, if he still would have acted the same way, whether it's pretending or not. Oh, I'm going.
Yeah, so that's why
whatever.
he
It
needs
wouldn't
to
have
go
mattered.
under
Terrence is a
Indy. He needs
feelings.
to go under Indy. Period.
But so, I forget who said it in the DR. I think it's Michael. I don't know. But someone in the DR said, well, it don't matter how you feel because you're not going, Terrence. Someone said it. His feelings are not relevant because
he's like a leaf blowing in the wind. He'll blow whichever way the wind, the wind is the leftovers. He'll blow whichever way they blow. I mean, he was doing it before. We saw him say, oh yeah, I'm getting Taylor out. Fuck that. And then Nicole's like, no, we're voting Pooch. He's like, oh yeah, I'm with that. And then they just start laughing. It's like, he'll do whatever anybody tells him to do. He has no thought of his
Terrence
own.
to walk, he's gonna go run. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's not gonna run. Let's be clear. He's not gonna run. He's
Speed
just
walk.
gonna
Sorry.
be there.
Speed walk.
Like Terrence drives me wild. I'm sorry.
He's a fan.
So,
like a fan. Like I'm on TV. Look at me. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's a fan that should have stayed behind the cast indoors.
This is a vacation for my man.
Exactly.
Right
It's just like he thinks it's cool to be there. That's he doesn't want to play. He just wants to be there.
Tired of driving buses in the snow in Chicago and singing karaoke with the people. Like, put him behind.
I'll go to one of his karaoke nights though, for sure. When he's out.
I will go to his
karaoke night. Host the Big Brother karaoke night. I'll go.
I was gonna say hopefully afterwards he go to like Hearts of Reality.
Yeah.
And
he ain't going to
the
that.
Club. You'll be surprised.
He'll go to that. He'll be the headliner.
He'll go.
DJ Showtime.
He remind me of Todd from Big Brother Celebrity 2 or no 3. God,
Todrick?
No. What's his?
No, but Todd played at the end. Todd at least played.
Todd Bridges, yeah.
Halfway through, at least he played.
Bridges. Yeah.
I mean, we'll see Terrence for All Stars.
He's Cynthia.
He's definitely making jury. Like he's here. He's a block star. He's not leaving.
So yeah, put him behind Indy unless anybody want to fight me.
Behind Indy,
I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
I'm not going to fight you.
Josie, you can't win every battle, babe.
I would put Terrence
behind Indy.
I just don't care about Terrence or Indy
we
at
really
all.
about to argue over F tier?
No, he needs to be above Indy. Let's be real.
Okay.
Indy's
Josie, I want to win every battle. Moving on. Brittany.
Indy
Brittany.
is one. No.
Brittany.
Indy is.
We done argued already, babe.
Indy is one blow up away.
Brittany.
Indy is one blow up away from getting out of the house. Let's be real.
It's a lot of factors. Remember, like we said.
No. Let's be real. Let's be real. Alyssa is providing Kyle so much information. It's mind-boggling. For him to lose her is dumb. So he should get rid of Indy.
So you say he should be above Alyssa now? Are you kidding?
No, that's not what I said. I said he should be above.
Moving on.
Indy.
Brittany.
I'm fine keeping Terrence where he is here, Josie. Just because if the boys go up, he's out the door. He's out the door. Yeah, we don't need to argue about
We're not fussing about F tier. Ew. None of these people are winning the game. None of these people are winning the game. Our winners are set already. Jasmine even have a chance to win, bitch. None of these people are winning the game that's right here, including our bitch Taylor. She's not winning. Let's go.
All right, so Brittany, Brittany, you know what I'm saying?
I put Brittany behind Turner and C. She's there. Shade. She's acting, but she has no agency.
No, I don't
better
agree.
than Jasmine.
I think she's in front of Jasmine.
Yeah, I was
all right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I just didn't think
Turner
anybody from the
Jasmine,
leftovers would go.
I don't think any
below
leftovers
C.
should have been in D. To be honest, I agree.
That's the only. She has a leftover upside, so that bumps her a little bit. But
she's
she has
definitely
no
still
game.
behind Turner. I think Brittany, she's slowly finding her footing. I feel like if people keep being lackadaisy and like take her through, Brittany could possibly have like a likability factor for a jury, and being that she can explain the game, maybe hypnotize a couple of jury members to give her a vote, and it could get her the crown. So I think, I think she has a way through. Like she has a tunnel.
I just don't think anybody trusts her. They haven't trusted her as part of the girls' girl. She was a mess the last couple of weeks, just spilling things for no reason. I don't know that she can come back from that.
Her confessionals are funny. I'll give her that.
She's
at least she ain't butterbeaning. At least she ain't butterbeaning.
No, I'm good with her
butterbean.
I did love what they did though with her husband. She was like, I'm picturing my husband, and then they put her husband in the show. That was funny. Not that had anything to do with her at all. That was, it was funny.
It was probably William Elton.
I mean, look, does anyone really have anything else to say about Brittany? Like,
no,
I just like she's
Butterbean,
there, man.
Butterbean.
That's crazy. All right, I think Taylor is finally ready to actually be ranked for the first official time this season. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Taylor.
I think Taylor, in my opinion, I'm gonna put her bottom C. I think she's here. I think she well, first of all, Christmas is a horrible player, horrible person in general. But like Christmas, is that's the type of player you want in your alliance every season. The Fessy, the Christmas, who's willing to do what needs to be done for the group. She's willing to go on the block. She's willing to be the sponge to take all the negative energy. She's willing to take the hits for the group, and all she has to return is y'all protect me. And I think that's going to get her to jury, which was not a reality a couple of days ago. And she is making do with what she has. I don't know what her long term plan is. Do I think she has a chance to win? No. I think not only because of the players in this game, but just the odds that she would need to really like surpass, unless she goes on like some comp winning spree out of nowhere, like Tiffany Mitchell did when she won back to back HOHs that once last season. But until I see her win some competitions, I don't have much upside for Taylor right now. I just think that she's kind of buying longevity, and we're seeing her buy herself a couple more weeks in this house. So
Yeah.
I will put her either top D or bottom C currently. But if I don't even know if she has a final two yet, but if she gets a final two at some point in this game, or if she
Just a
wins the
final
HOH,
three.
I said two. I need a two. If she gets a final two, then I would be more confident in her chances. But there you go.
Honestly, for me, Tay Tay, I love me some Taylor. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I feel she just playing a losing battle. Like I'm happy, based on the trajectory. If nothing crazy happened, we can't speak too soon. Big Brother changes like the back of our hand. That we at least gonna see her in jury if everyone stays true to this. And even now with like the heightened target of people like Monty, that if this last, if they get Nicole out this week and the last week of pre-jury they shoot at a leftover, I see Taylor making it through. For me, I just feel like she just had so much against her in the first few weeks that is nothing she's going to be due. Some of those concrete relationships are already created. Like we got people like Michael and Kyle, we got Joseph Monty, we got Turner with people, we got Brittany and all that. Like even though some of them are looking out for Taylor or have new love for Taylor, I feel that they already created those bonds where when it comes down to the last bit of leftovers, that they like, dang, Taylor had a story. We might actually have to chop her, and she'll be like, that typical black woman spot, that third jury member, first jury member, something crazy where she's not gonna make it deep. I see her. So for me, if we're gonna put Brittany in D, I think we gotta just put Taylor in D right above it. Her first week of ranking.
The only thing I'll say, offhanded comment, this does not affect my ranking whatsoever. She has, and I do agree with actually D. I think she'll be top D if anything. I think she has Rachel Riley upside. And when I say that, I mean I think production has finally learned, because the Facebookers has made it very clear with how they feel about it. It's interesting, right when the Facebookers turn, production listens. They don't care about us. They care about Facebookers. But it seems like she has production upside. I tweeted about this and I ended up deleting it because I didn't want violence. But like, I've seen it happen about 2 or 3 times this week where the leftovers are in a group with someone, and then that person magically gets called down to the diary room, and then they can do their little celebration. I'm like, that's a little.
It's because they
like,
need that for the edit. Let's be clear. It's reality
It's
TV.
rigging.
Yes.
It's reality TV. Like, hey, let me call Indy to the diary room so we could get that. Like, even if they use it without sound, they'll have different moments of them celebrating, so they can use the best one. Like,
But like,
it's reality
production is
TV. No shade.
Look,
It's
production
reality
is
TV.
blatantly helping Taylor right now by
I don't think that
removing
aspect is
people
helping
from
her.
rooms. What is so funny?
I'm
Yeah,
listening to
I
Josie.
missed
See,
it.
what is it? The HOH song? The HOH one?
No, because like
Do, do,
you
do,
guys
do.
were talking about like them using the clip of them jumping, and
Yeah.
I immediately just heard the do 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 song, like and them jumping, and so I said out loud, and Katie is the only one who heard.
Oh, it totally went over my head, child.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think production's pandering to the viewers now that
Yeah.
As
I
it
mean,
should.
because
targeted
they're
audience.
scared. They're
Yeah.
scared to get canceled for Taylor's first week in the house to be
Yeah.
mass media, like ABC News,
Yeah,
TMZ,
it
They
was a
didn't even
CBS
care
Today
News.
about any of
Show,
that.
and
They didn't
yeah.
care about any of those
They didn't
articles. They cared
care,
the moment
but
the
at the end,
Facebookers turn on them.
Well, I
That's when
think
they
also,
care.
Isaiah, they can't ignore what happened with Daniel and Nicole.
Oh,
in that
yeah?
house. Like,
yeah,
Oh yeah,
I don't think they could. I really don't, because I
That
think
was
the
a-
Maybe a big
backlash was
fight that they've
Big Brother
ignored.
19, Big Brother 15, Big Brother
No,
21.
no,
This-
no,
They
no,
could
no,
have. I mean,
no,
if they
no.
wanted to, they
This
didn't
is
have to
different.
show it.
this is
They done some
2022 now.
racist stuff, and they don't.
I
give
know,
a
but they would-
damn.
This was.
I don't think
this
they would
was
be
a
able to
different
recover from
animal.
that.
Yeah,
This is
I don't think they would
different
be able to recover from that.
because
Isaiah,
let's
it's
be honest,
2022.
the seasons you
Well,
named,
Christmas, yeah. all right.
the seasons you named were utter vile and evil the entire time.
Yeah.
So you can erase a little bit of evil and vile because it doesn't take away from all the evil and rest of the vile. The issue with that is like they had to air it because one, we're talking about bullying in Turner's
Yeah.
speech. They can't edit Turner's speech. It's not going to be. First of all, one
can't.
thing
Turner
about Big
did that
Brother,
for us, really.
They love
Turner did that for us.
You
one
can't.
thing production loves is to take some people talking and use it as key moments. If it's in the DR, if it's in a veto, a live eviction, whatever it is,
Mhm.
they will use it. You can't have Turner say, "Well, I don't F with the bullying," and then have us not show any bullying. And that's the issue with the edit. From the jump, they should have put that in because then, oh, this one example that they had to use because they had no other one with Daniel and Nicole is the perfect example of bullying that has happened this season, which we haven't seen at all. So they had to put that in regardless, especially since moving forward now, Taylor's going to play a big role in the either or eviction of Nicole or Daniel. So they have to explain why her impact is going to be huge in either or eviction, whether she's HOH or not. So I think they had to show that. But in terms of Taylor's ranking, I do agree that D would be suited for her. I don't think she's a D player, but we have to start her off small.
Yeah,
We have to start it. We have to,
Yeah.
upgrade.
This is her
you
first
know.
real week of playing the game. No shade.
Yeah. And I don't think she's in the power position within the leftovers, but I do
Yeah.
think they value her, which is why she's above Brittany.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I agree.
So
I just think for Taylor, like, what I want to see from her is a little more. I just
Right?
want her to talk a little bit more, because I feel like
Yeah.
Monty and Kyle, and they're like still questioning if she's in, and I kind of understand that, because I don't feel like she's being, and it's totally understandable that she's being cautious because she's been through it the last couple of weeks. But like, this group wants to embrace her, and I think Joseph is doing a really good job of fostering the relationship to make her feel comfortable. I just think that she needs to be a little more vulnerable with them so they feel she's fully in. Kind of like Monty. Like, I'm getting the same from Monty. Like, he's not really giving me like deep.
Yeah.
She's kind of like sitting there. She takes it all in. And that leads them to question her a little bit. It's totally fair. And the way that she's
Yeah.
feeling and acting is totally valid. I just worry that it's going to cause them to question her commitment.
Because-
And if they're already not really trusting her to be, like, if we have a Monty who's like not super trustworthy of her anyway, like, I just worry about it for her. That's
Yeah.
why I think D is a good spot. I just
Yeah,
think she needs another week to like feel like she's really part of it. And her
And
being a backdoor potential, like going on the block,
Yeah.
I don't know that that's like the best thing for her game right now.
I just don't see it for at least 2 weeks of her fully opening up, because
Yeah.
it's like she even said it this week. She was like, when I try to like be vulnerable with someone, it gets thrown back in my face
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
in a roundabout way of her saying that. So it's like I feel she has to walk on eggshells.
Yep.
She's been introduced to an alliance, and she now sees that alliance was true. She didn't touch the block, and the person is out that was basically a part of her bullying, and people are standing up for her. I think it's just going to take her time to find her footing. I feel that at these moments, her growing closer to Joseph, growing closer to like Michael, is going to help her to fully open up. And when she gets a week that she has her moments to have power, I see her, almost like a cocoon of a butterfly, like metamorphosizing
Totally.
into something great. Because we know Taylor's a great fan of Big Brother. We know she's always wanted to do this, and she just hasn't had a good cut of a cast. Where we know if she was a part of last season with the cookout, we would be standing her just as much as people used to stand Tiffany Mitchell. And it's just, people are still standing her, even though she had this like hard range, but we want to see the game plan that we know they cast her for.
Yeah, I think she has great potential. I just want her to put her wall down just a little bit, but I understand 1,000% why she has that wall. And I also just want to say, like, the way she handled herself in the situation with Daniel, I mean, such grace, and like
Class
I just feel like
act.
she has
That
such a
couldn't have been me.
pure soul, and that
Yeah.
that was hard to watch. It broke my heart for her, the way that they were treating her in that house, and to have
It's the
every single
cry for me.
person
It's the
stand
cry.
there slack
That was
jawed
bad,
and
man.
not say a goddamn word to defend her. And Ameerah's whispering to Jasmine or whatever, like that doesn't cut
Yeah.
it for me. And to hear her come out and try and even understand what's happening as she's getting verbally assaulted by this man in her
Yeah.
face, and
And tries to,
Jasmine to
like,
say,
talk it
give him
through.
a minute, you need to give him some space. Fuck you, Jasmine, and fuck
Fuck
you, Daniel,
Jasmine.
and
Fuck
fuck you,
Jasmine, fuck
Ameerah, and
Daniel,
fuck you,
fuck-
Nicole. Like that was just
Yeah, fuck
disgusting.
'em.
That was
And
up
Nicole
there with,
to
like,
say chips before a workout. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
listen, that
Fuck
was
you.
up
That would
there
have
with,
that would have been it for me. That would have been it for
That's
me.
what I'm saying. They are lucky
Yeah.
that it's a Taylor in the house, because we didn't, like, I just know myself, the way that Taylor was treated. First of all, Taylor is a class act, babes. But
She- yeah.
let me have been
Yeah.
just the part of Daniel trying me. And then Nicole saying give him space. When like, bitch, she just said it's because of you, ho. And then Jasmine, oh butterbean ass, if you turning your back at me when we sit on the bed and not allowing me to
Yeah.
talk, like, girl,
Sick.
bye. Like, Jasmine,
See-
I would eat her lunch. Ameerah could suck it. After the season, I hope Taylor don't go straight to trying to be these people friend like she doing
I
these
hope not.
goodbye
Yeah.
messages. I need
She's
her to
getting
reflect,
so much
watch,
grace.
yeah,
To
Like,
Daniel,
watch that
after
shit.
Daniel apologized to her on the quote unquote apologized,
Girl, bye.
she said to the camera, I'm going to be this person's friend for a long time, so please don't treat him
Right.
badly, America. I'm like, girl, no.
No, girl.
And
We
he's
need
doing
to-
shit about her in bed with
That's
Nicole
why I
that
hope-
same
She don't know
night.
that.
That
I hope
same
people
night.
like
Yeah.
Bailey. I hope people like Bailey, Davon's, the
Tiffany.
Tiffany's, the whole cookout.
Oh,
Really
the cookout will get.
gather
They're
her.
gonna take care
I
of her.
hope
They're
Derek
good.
Frazier.
Tiffany's
However much
talking about it
y'all
on
might
Twitter
y'all
already.
might hate Derek Frazier, but I hope they all get her to realize that, bitch, watch this season. Here's
The
these
black
clips.
community got her.
I
She'll
hope
be
they're
fine.
already saving clips to have in her inbox. I know
Oh.
me personally, I kind of want to go straight to her Instagram, be like, boom, boom, boom. So if she get out, even though she's not gonna see mine, to see that shit, fuck these
I
people
mean,
in the
I-
season. You don't
I
need
was
none of
gonna-
these people.
I just wanted to say real quickly that you don't have to even look for the clips. Shout out to my friend Kyle on Twitter. He has already a thread going. He keeps updating it, and people keep using that thread. So get into it. You guys should check out Kyle and
Yeah, send
see
it to me.
that thread
Yeah,
to
send it
to see
me,
what's
baby.
happening. But in general, I think what really upset me this week, because I've already gone off about how I feel about the house treating her, but Taylor tells Daniel after this apology, she goes, I'm a black woman, so I hope
Yeah.
it doesn't really reflect on you as a white man. Which was so real because it is bad. And she realizes it. We saw a clip about colorism on the show. So obviously, the discussion of race is not foreign, especially within this house and the realities that we're facing with her treatment. That being said, he then went and told Nicole all of this and started talking shit about the fact that she's a black woman. Who gives a fuck, blah, 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 blah. Who, it's not about race, da, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And that to me really just showed what type of human being he's being, because she has given you, extended you grace. She's been kind. She's letting you know about the realities of what you're faced. You're too ignorant and full of your privilege to see how this could be an issue. And instead of taking this in and reflecting on this matter, you've now chosen to spit in her face. It is crazy, incredible to me how someone like Daniel is walking around the house with no seeming of idea of how he's being perceived or how he can treat other people who are not as lucky and is in their privilege as he is. I think it was so exemplary of who he is as a person, and I don't want to hear jack shit about the feeds or their editing or whatnot, because that was clearly shown that he was given the truth about where he stands in society and how it can look like and how it can be perceived, especially in the times that we're in. Yeah, people are not dying as much, but Black lives still matter. It's still a movement and it's not a moment. So he should have taken that with an inch of common sense and thought about it for himself, and he chose not to. At this rate, there's nothing that this man Daniel can ever do to ever be my good graces. I come on this podcast, I talk and I say what I have to say, and I mean what I say. Sometimes I think about the opportunities that I would like to do outside of podcasting, like me on Big Brother. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say what I say with full chest. This is who I am 100% authentically, no shit, no given.
And
this
that's
is
why
a
we
real
need people
life.
like you on the show, Josie.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is crazy to me because you're casting people like this who are basking in their ignorance and choosing to be vile and vicious. So at this rate, if this screws my opportunity to get on the show or whatever show I want to get to in the future, I'm okay with it. I'm at peace with it because at the end of the day, it's real life. It's a social experiment and it's reflecting on these characters and it needs to be denounced and called out for. I don't care if production will do it. I'm gonna do it on my platforms and keep it pushing. That's it.
And that's why
Yeah, I
I'm
would-
happy that y'all continue to do coverage.
Yep.
You know, it's many questions that we as a production team was trying to decide, like, is this season worth it? And this is why no matter what, even if we feel a certain way, go and talk about that stuff. Go and be the voice because, you know, we saw many podcasters saying they was putting their podcasts on hiatus, etc. And I'm happy that Katie spoke up on it and I vouched that we needed to continue because we need to hear our voices because we all have different opinions about different aspects. And look, at the end of the day, we got the light at the end of the tunnel. Taylor did not go home. Taylor is in a better placement than she's ever been. Yeah, she might be still getting bullied and people talking shit about her, but it's Taylor's curse, and these people will reap that once they get out of this house. Big Brother is one of those shows that will literally fuck up your life. So you need to tread lightly when you apply for it and be careful because if you're a shit human being in real life, it's going to show in Big Brother. And you know, like we didn't see people walk away with amazing careers from Big Brother, and we've seen people shit go to shit. So, you know, when people need to take note now moving forward, especially with applying for Big Brother, a show that's videotaped, live feeds, etc. If you're a shit human being, don't even apply.
Well,
I guess
half of the
if you have
cast
hate in
isn't
your heart,
even
like Daniel, it's gonna show.
I mean, half of the people don't even like apply nowadays. Like they're recruited, you know. So it's like, I think this isn't even like a new moment. Like if you think about all the way back, Jamaica went through something like this. You got Candace went through something like this.
Monet,
Hemi, Monet, Bailey again. You know, even Tiffany with DF. Yeah, even though they're cool now. I mean, we don't forget. You know, so it's just like. The only difference is that out of all those women, Taylor is probably the first one out of all of them who isn't like really outspoken and like willing to like kind of speak out against stuff like that. Oh, I forgot Dominique, her too. But like Tiffany, I said Tiffany. Taylor's not outspoken like all those girls. So like she is more like she's spoken about her experiences with like colorism and like she has trauma with stuff like that. So like I think that's why it's so much more effective this time around within like the viewing audience. So hopefully I hope and pray because I'm scared for her that when she comes out of here she's gonna pull like a Nicole Anthony and just try to be friends with everyone. Cut these people off.
I'm sorry, you don't need. So, like I've been
know.
telling this to people about like regular people in your life. Like sometimes you need to leave people where they at, and when people show you who they are, leave it at that. Taylor does not need none of these
dipped
people.
and never looked back. Okay,
Yeah, and Kimmy has some of the best people in her life, such as Chanel. Some people that actually give a fuck about her. Like you don't need these people to thrive. I don't. I know me when I get on the show, how some of these people have all these wars with people and then be like giddy giddy. For me, it's over with. You wrong me, yeah, I'm gonna be the bigger person and hear you out, but I'm not your friend, babes, and I don't care to be your friend. That's just the type of place I am in my life where like it's a chop, and I hope Taylor goes into that aspect. Like you don't need to sit down and have dinner with Nicole and Daniel and tell the world to forgive them. Once she out of this, I want her to really hone down on I'm Taylor. I'm that bitch, Miss Congeniality, because you thought I wasn't hoe. Boom.
I think one thing, and I won't prolong it too long, but I think one thing is about this season that's different from some of the others that we got feeds on night one. So I tend to think maybe that Big Brother 21 was just as bad as this for Kemi and for Ovi in the beginning. Obviously, we know David was out night one, but it probably would have been just as bad for him because he did come back for Camp Comeback, and they were like, I mean, they put literally like, you're not allowed to talk to us. And they were all people of color in Camp Comeback until Cliff got voted out. So I think the benefit of this season, as hard as it was for all of us to watch and see, we got to see it actually play out from night one. And we can defend Taylor and say, there's nothing. We were watching this from night one. She did nothing. She did nothing but be graceful and kind to all of these people. Maybe she was a little quiet and the girls didn't like that, but they took that and they twisted it into an attack against her character and just disgusting, horrible things. Where I hope that Big Brother does not take this as a reason to take night one feeds away from us because they got such bad press, because normally we wouldn't see it and we would be dependent on whatever they decide to show us, like we were with Kemi. Because I have a feeling Jack and Jackson and Christy and Sam and all of those awful people on Big Brother 21 were just as bad to Kemi in that first week.
I didn't forget,
and we didn't see
them putting Kemi's
for
bathing
the
suit
shaker
on when
bottle.
someone had
Oh,
a
yeah.
itch, or the shaker bottle,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Bella gaslighting her and putting her hands up. Like, I didn't forget about none of that. So that's why I'm
Disgusting
just like,
behavior.
you know,
And unfortunately for them, they had
do
to
better.
still stay in that house after they couldn't even go home.
you know, yeah. So, anyways, we've been saying it for over 2 hours. It's almost 2 hours 30 minutes. That's crazy, but this is a good podcast. We had a lot to talk about. Hopefully, this is a start to a rising for this season. Hopefully, it gets better once we get some of these bad apples out of here. But we'll see how that goes. But if you're still hanging out, we've had a lot of viewers today, so shout out to you for listening now, or if you're listening later down the line. We've had a lot of replays on the YouTube and the audio platform, so thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, please check out our social media pages. Our Twitter is silent_podcast. Our Twitch and YouTube is silent podcast. The same with our audio platforms. Please subscribe or follow or whatever you want to do if you enjoy it. And if you're on the audio platform, please, only if you like it, rate it 5 stars. If you want to do 4, don't press it at all. Just wait until you hear something that you like, because you're going to bring our ratings down. Thank you so much. We're going to just start doing our closeout. So, Lance, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, whenever you're available again, when we're doing this, you are more than welcome to come on. What are you up to, and where can people find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram at I am King Lance, no space or underscores all together, and on TikTok at I am King Lance _. It's always great to be with you all. I'm trying to manage my life to make sure I could be here more often, because obviously they love me. Shout out to Valencia, shout out to Joseph. Y'all love me, and y'all know that I bring the funny shit. And they have to always have someone here to combat Josie and even Katie, because y'all be trying to fight, baby. Y'all be trying to fight, and Isaiah be outnumbered, and y'all little special guests don't be giving it. Lance needs
Not the special guest not giving it.
Yeah, no, shout out to the special guests who have filled in for King Lance. You know, Big Brother season has been tough for me, but you know, we slay Big Brother K all season. So you know, I'm happy to be back with my peeps. I love y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. Y'all always hold a special place in my heart. So you know, shout out to me. If y'all can find me, hit me up, show me the love, show me how much y'all love me, and it'll make me want to be around even more. Hopefully y'all catch me on some other podcasts, because I've been living for the Challenge US and all of that good jive. Honestly, we need to do a podcast for Snake in the Grass, because that first episode,
everybody is saying that. Yeah, no, listen.
So
yeah, talking about it before recording.
Everybody and their mom is asking to be on Snake in the Grass. It's ridiculous. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure out. Y'all get prioritized. But all right, Katie, where can people find you? What you into?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RealSlimKatie. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSlimKatie with an underscore at the end. Feel free to drop a follow there. It's free to do so, and I appreciate the support. You can also find me on Silent Podcast talking about Challenge USA with Carrie on Wednesdays, and you can find on TJ Hates Quitters, and you can also find me on The Cool Water Show with Carrie talking about all things Real Housewives.
All right, Josie, how about you?
Hey y'all, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had so much fun. It's a blast. You know me, Josie Rants is the brand, so you know I love to get into it. But you guys can follow me on social media that matters: Instagram, Twitter at JosianeXNM. That's JosianeANEXNM. Sorry, Carrie got in my head once about me spelling it out, so I always think of her every time I do it. But besides that, I host Just So Damn Messy, where we host your talk about your favorite messy reality TV shows. Love Island UK is wrapping up soon. And you know me and my bestie on the timeline, if you follow our Just So Damn Messy Twitter account, we get into them. So it'll be a fun wrap-up season for sure. Obviously, Love Island US is currently happening, so there may be some things here and there. Keep an eye out on those. I just did a podcast with I Don't Know About That, where we rank Survivor logos, as I am a graphic designer. Part 1 is already out, and Part 2 is coming out very soon. It was fun, so get into it. If you like the girls playing around, joking around, having a good time, and you know me, I give my opinion, no ands, ifs, buts about it. So that was fun. And I do this, and I'll be on the Challenge USA show tomorrow. So, or not tomorrow, Wednesday. So look out for all those things on my Twitter and the Silent Podcast channels.
And lastly, you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers on all social media. Over here at Silent Podcast, you can find me on a bunch of podcasts. Obviously, we're going to be back every single Friday talking about Big Brother 24. When the numbers get more down, we'll start seeing if we can get some like past Big Brother alumni on here. But we can't have special guests with 2 hour, 30-minute podcasts. So we're going to wait a little bit longer. You can find me, me and Mark Levy just uploaded an episode at the Movies Podcast talking about Nope by Jordan Peele. That was a fun little podcast. It was a great little podcast. You can find me back with the Marvelous Duo, Total Drama, all that fun stuff whenever you can. And also you can find me on Purple Pants Podcast by the end of this week with Bryce Isaiah. We're going to be back with the Purple Pants playlist. I'm sure he's going to have a bunch of Beyonce on there since she just dropped an album. So we'll be talking about that. And you can find me on RHAP. Talking about Big Brother as well. And lastly, if you haven't already, we're covering Survivor Philadelphia. The show has been awesome. The support's been awesome. The views have been going crazy. So just keep watching that. You can check out my interview with the first boot and the second boot that goes up next week.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Isaiah is the first boot.
Yeah, okay. But
so he interviewed himself.
Yeah, okay.
You were the first boot?
No, he's not.
No, I was not no damn first boot. He hasn't even seen it.
Yes, I have.
All right, I was on Mr. Josi.
I'm a live game legend. I'm the icon.
Himself.
Lance.
All right, but until next week, next Friday, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in Bermuda. So Katie and Josie and whoever else they find will be here.
Okay.
But until next time, we will see you guys with Balance Checks. Have a good one. Bye.